Hey, welcome to the Bakagaijinshow. I'm your lovable rascal of a host, Zeke Freakin. With me, as always, is my insoluble co-host, Kevin Faulkner.
God damn it.
In water?
You refuse to be dissolved in water.
Yeah, that's why I take baths so much.
Now, God, what the fuck is that chemical from Breaking Bad? I can't remember now. You know the one.
Hydrochloric acid.
Hydrochloric acid is a different story, Kevin.
Actually, I think they proved on Mythbusters that you would have to let the person soak in that for like days to dissolve the body. But
That's what they did in the show, though. I think it was a while.
if I remember correctly, it was only like a day, and it also dissolved through the bathtub, which is just like no.
My favorite thing about hydrochloric acid is that it's not actually acidic. It's just very, very based.
Yes, it is a very based. It is a very based material. Also, you have it in your stomach, which is why ulcers suck.
Yeah.
Well, here we are to talk about chemistry as our special guest. You know him well. His name, in fact, is Serodin.
It's Gerard now, but that's a long story, and I feel like I would make most of you vomit if I told you why.
Yeah.
But hi, I'm Serodin.
Yeah,
I'm insane.
Yeah, we already have the asset here that says Serodin. We can't change it in post. I'm sorry.
Look! It says Serodin on Discord. It says it on the pod. You can't escape it.
Look, that's the name I would like to have, but if I change my name from Gerard, she'll get mad at me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to incur her wrath. Who is she? You'll never find out.
Yeah. Nope. Not what this is about.
Nope. See? God damn it.
So, Kevin, we've been gone for a bit.
We have, because both of us and this guy have been doing shit.
Yep.
We went on an adventure.
Yep, we went on an adventure we will tell you about in the second segment. But
Yes.
we've also had some time since then, since returning from the adventure. You know, the scouring of the Shire of our lives, apparently.
Yep.
You know. So, Kevin, what have you been up to in the past week?
I've been playing Pokemon Legends Arceus because, or Arceus, if you prefer to pronounce it like it's supposed to be pronounced. Thanks, Nintendo of America. Anyway.
Yep. Oh, don't worry. I'm sure they'll change it back again someday.
It's Arceus.
Yep.
But, yeah, I've been playing that. Really, really fun game. Love that game. I was planning on buying that more, like, later in the year, in November, during a time when, like, there aren't a whole lot of games that I'm interested in playing coming out. But Cube the Third ended up getting it for me as a gift. So I'm like, shit, guess I'm playing this now.
Crowd goes aw.
But it ends up kind of working out anyway, because it ends up working out anyway because my family's going to be gone for about a week and a half beginning on Tuesday, and I'm going to have all the time in the world to myself to just play that game.
Yep, sounds fun. Pokemon Souls sounds like a fun game.
It's actually more like Pokemon meets Monster Hunter meets
I'm
Breath
just
of the
doing
Wild.
it to annoy you. I'm doing it to annoy you.
I
It's
know
fine.
you are. But yeah, that has proven to be a really fun game. Like, both of y'all know that I've felt that like the Pokemon franchise has stagnated for the last decade or so, ever since Pokemon X and Y. Sun and Moon was like Sun and Moon was like a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing, where it had a lot of really good additions, but the core gameplay was still the exact same as it's always been, and it didn't really feel fresh enough for me to consider it to be like a really good upgrade to the franchise. Legends Arceus is actually a really good upgrade to the franchise. I do want to see a version of what I want to see in future Pokemon games is I want to see
Pokemon.
What? No, what'd you say?
I said Pokemon Modern Warfare.
No.
Yeah. I mean, that's what
Break
the
out.
people want.
Branch out. Let's go.
Yeah.
Pokemon with guns. No, I don't want that. Some people do. I don't. But
No.
I want to see future Pokemon games take this basic gameplay style with like the open environments, Pokemon being visible on the field, a larger emphasis on catching Pokemon and shit like that, rather than just, you know, fighting until you get them down to like a certain percentage and then catching them. Like, I want to see that married together with the traditional structure of going to different cities and gyms, so that like you have this actual.
Let me contact Todd Howard.
Upgrade.
Yeah. Get up on that. Yep.
Let's just make Skyrim and its entire structure with, like, you know, exactly what you just said, but there's like Pokemon and shit that you can catch instead of just like punting wolves with a battle axe. You throw Pokeballs at them instead.
Unironically, that actually.
Yeah, that actually sounds like a baller game, and I would totally play that.
Yeah, like and Legends Arceus is about halfway there. Like, it is a really good step forward for the franchise. I love it. I think it's a fantastic game. Hopefully Game Freak continues on this track and improves from here, rather than just going back to what worked in the previous games, because if they go backwards at this point, I'm just throwing my hands up. Just like, fuck it.
Pokemon has always been open to like branching out, but like their branching out decisions have always been very bizarre, like Pokemon Snap or Hey You Pikachu. Or like their attempts to branch out, and I'm not really sure what direction they were trying to take with it, but I'm glad to see it actually branching out into a area that makes sense for the franchise, as opposed to basically glorified mini games, you know.
Yeah.
So I would like to see them branch out into something a little bit more expansive and worth a $60 price tag than just, you know, another bone stock JRPG style game.
I agree.
They have,
because like I if I want a bone stock JRPG, I can get better experiences elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I think this is actually a good. Again, I think this is a good track for the franchise to go. But yeah, I've been playing that. I'm about like 10 hours into that game. It's super fun. I have not had this much fun playing a Pokemon game in a very, very long time.
well, a certain streamer I watched finished it, I think, in close to 15 hours, so you should be about 2/3 of the way there if you're just powering through the story.
Well, I'm not. I'm actually taking a lot of time to do side quests and shit, so I'm probably going to finish it at like 20-25 hours, actually.
Yep.
Like I'm trying to fill out my Pokedex as much as possible.
Well, yeah, there's also extra content available, allegedly, if you fill out your Pokedex and capture a metric shit ton of Pokemon. There's apparently like some end-game content that becomes unlockable.
Yeah.
So
This game actually does have a decent amount of challenge. It's not like, you know, balls-ass hard like older Pokemon games, but my Pokemon faint a lot more often than they used to. And I also really like the addition of styles, strong and agile styles. That actually adds a lot of strategy to like the battle orders. I really like that, because it's a risk and reward system, and I'm really big on risk and reward systems in RPGs and shit. But yeah, aside from that, not really a whole lot else. Just been playing that a whole lot. And I'm looking forward to having some goddamn peace and quiet for about a week and a half. That's going to be amazing. I'm going to spend so much time doing stuff. I was going to get back to watching Shakugan no Shana during this week, but again, I have a video game to play, so I'm trying to balance it.
I was correct in my initial assessment that this would be a bad thing for the show.
But.
Okay.
Next week.
Okay.
Next week, I will get back to Shauna. I will take a brief, reprieve.
Respite.
you did for Symphogear?
From the... Shut up.
Still waiting for you to finish the best anime ever made.
I will get back to it eventually.
He's been here for 15 minutes and he's already ruining the podcast.
I hate this. I hate this. Y'all suck.
I don't know why you invited me. You just found me on a street corner panhandling for coins.
Yeah.
And you were like, hey, let's get this guy on our podcast.
Hey, you seemed like a fun guy, but now I'm starting to regret that decision.
Yeah,
He makes
whatever.
he makes the funny. He makes the funny.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's how I get you.
that's what I've been up to. Zeke, buddy, what have you been doing?
Well, since I've been back, hit sequel to Since You've Been Gone. I've been playing more Dying Light 2, which will probably be the thumbnail because I haven't gotten the chance to use that one yet.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it. They finally fixed the random black screen flicker that makes it look like he's blinking, so that's good. They fixed the blinking.
No, you don't understand. It's actually immersive.
You know what? It kind of was though. So I don't know if I'm sad to see it go or not, or if that's just Stockholm syndrome, which is a weird thing to have for a screen glitch. But yeah, yeah. But no, still enjoying that. They shadow dropped the next gen upgrade for Cyberpunk, so I started that. I don't know exactly how much I'll stick with that, but I just wanted to see how well it ran and stuff. And it runs and looks pretty good.
Finally, a playable version of Cyberpunk on console.
You know, it only took them what has it been, like 15 months?
It's been about a year and a half now.
Yeah, so you know, better late than never. The only thing that annoys me is the fact that I've had the PS4 disc for a long time, and I get the free upgrade. The problem is that it keeps trying to install the PS4 version. I have to keep deleting it. I'm just like,
that's the most Sony thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
I'm like, you can clearly see I have the PS5 version installed. Stop trying to auto-install it just because I need the disc to play it. It's really annoying.
Oh, you put in the PS4 disc. Here, let me install that. No, stop it.
Stop it.
Yeah, I still have Cyberpunk downloaded on my PC, but when I first started to play it back a year ago, like it kept when it got to the third mission, there was an exact point where the game would crash and then BSOD my computer. So I've been terrified. I know it's been fixed. Allegedly it's been fixed, but I've been terrified to try to start up the game and like try it again ever since.
Yeah.
I want to get to it at some point, but like, man, it's just I don't want to have to deal with the BSODs and multiple restarts and all that other shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. And then I've mostly been writing a lot because I didn't get as much writing done on the trip as I wanted to. I quote unquote finished the script for the Shauna video. I'm gonna give that a bit to settle and then read it again in a bit so I can see if it actually is as good as I want it to be. If I need to add anything.
It's gonna just be a 1-hour diatribe about you talking about Shauna.
It's very long. It's like 10,000 words.
It's actually a show I don't think I ever finished. I watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes, and then I don't know if I got sidetracked or if I ended up not liking it. Like I barely remember anything about it, but
Yeah.
I use Shauna a lot in Fighting Climax, so I mean,
that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm totally new to the franchise, but I'm liking it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Zeke was shocked at how little I actually knew about Shakugan no Shauna going in.
I'm progressively shocked at how little everyone knows about it, but that's part of the essay, so that's good. I like being validated.
Yeah, I got to the point where like Shauna gains her flame wings, and I'm like, yo! And Zeke's like, wait, you didn't know about that?
That's like not knowing about fucking the Michelangelo only has the nunchucks for 3 seasons.
And then he gets a grappling hook.
Grappling hook. He has the grappling hook for like most of the show, and yet nobody remembers that.
Yeah.
Imagine not knowing that Kirito dual wields.
That would be really embarrassing, actually.
That would be really embarrassing. It was like, whoa, he dual wields now? And I'm like,
what?
Bro, the show came out in 2012. It's what?
That's like his whole thing.
That's like his whole shtick.
Which by the way, that's a weird shtick to have, is being the only one who can dual wield.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
The game was, well, as the Abridged series likes to say, that game was a launch title and not very well designed. So
it actually was though.
It was a launch title, and it makes perfect sense why the megalomaniac, insane creator would leave special abilities only for people he chose to be worthy. The guy literally has a god complex, like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
I love when they get to him and he's like, what was your motivation for all this? I saw it in a dream once.
Yeah, literally.
Which I can't tell if that's poignant and brilliant or just really dumb, but I kind of love it.
I wonder if that's Todd Howard with like Elder Scrolls. Like, I saw it in a dream once and I wanted to make this world real. And...
I feel like he's actually talked about that. I feel like there's some clip where he actually says something like that. It might be the infamous chip where he's like, I was in the chess club, look where I am now. It might be that one. I don't know.
Oh man, you were smart and now you're smart. Amazing. Smart, you get people to buy the same fucking game 10 years later. It's like the 4th time. Smart guy Todd Howard.
That kind of shallow victory reminds me of something I saw recently where I watched that clip from Red Letter Media where he's talking about how George Lucas liked to poke fun at Star Trek with like the Nemoidians, making fun of like Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
And then someone in the comments like, well, George is still alive, so I guess he won that one. And then someone's like, ooh, he outlived a guy 12 years older than him. Ooh.
Shocking.
Yep.
Also, considering what Disney's been doing to his franchise, I think the stress is going to get him.
Hey, he got like $4 billion or whatever. He's riding high.
Yeah.
He got his money.
Yeah, but he's also watching his legacy and his baby get trounced.
You do get the sense that he somewhat regrets it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Poor Jorge.
Senor Jorge! Senor!
Jorge Lucas!
Jorge Lucas. That almost sounds like a
Jorge
word.
Lucas.
Yeah. And then I want to get back to... I've been very slow on the Drex lately, so I have to get back to that.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what happens next because, wow!
Yeah. So that's a thing that's a coming. And then I might play some more. I might go into Sam & Max Season 2, the remaster, soon. I saw someone's Telltale tribute poster yesterday, and it did not include Sam & Max, and that was very bizarre to me.
Wasn't that one of their better games, too?
That was like their flagship thing for years.
Yeah, it's the reason people actually gave a shit about Telltale for so damn long.
Yeah, before Back to the Future, that was like the only thing they did for like...
I think most people remember them nowadays for The Walking Dead, but like
Yeah.
it's such a mid game in my opinion. Like,
I only played the first 2 seasons, and I really liked them.
yeah.
After that, I don't know. At some point.
Oh boy, I do love it when I tell the children to be quiet and then they don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it wouldn't be a podcast if they didn't, so,
Just
you know.
illustrate them. Just throw them out a window.
Yeah. See, he gets me every time. I make suggestions exactly like that every episode, and Kevin's like, no.
Go kids, throw them out a window.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I do a podcast with you people?
I don't know.
I don't know. Why did you decide you wanted to take care of kids? It's not my fault.
No,
You made
I
that
didn't.
decision.
Look, I didn't make that decision. Life made that decision for me. And I am actively unmaking that decision for life.
I don't know. You made the decision to move out of Hemet at some point, and this is what happened.
Fuck, he's right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Then again, I don't know if I want you further away, so it's there's a real mixture of emotions going on here.
Yeah. I'd say like moving over to where I am now in Kentucky kind of worked out.
Mhm.
As a whole, I guess.
You know, you take the dubs with the L's.
At the very
You know.
least, I have my own room now.
That's true. I keep forgetting you did not have that in Hemet.
I did not, and I did also not have that in Arizona either.
That's true. In fact, that's why we went on hiatus for like 2 years.
It is exactly the reason why we went on hiatus for 2 years.
Yep.
But now I'm here in my own room, and we can do this again regularly.
How's privacy treating you?
I like it. I like it a lot. I can just shut myself
Yeah.
in my room and ignore everybody.
Underrated, honestly. It's like the 5th essential need after the other 4.
Yes.
Yeah, you got shelter, but then you got to have like sub shelter, but like just for you.
Yep.
Solitude.
Yeah.
Alone time is good.
Serodin, what have you been up to?
panhandling on a corner asking for coins.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
No, in all honesty, this last week I've been catching up on the new Demon Slayer season, which is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. There are moments, without spoiling anything, there are moments in the season that will just make you scream, "What the actual fuck?" But not in like a "this doesn't make any sense" way.
Yeah.
More of "this is some fucking like narrative forced. This is some narrative bullshit, and I want to find out what happens next."
Yeah.
So they had some really hurtful cliffhangers during that whole season. But
Yeah.
overall, it's really solid so far, and the animation is still up to par. If you're looking for a flashy show with great action, I mean, I can't really recommend anything better right now.
Yeah.
And I've also been watching. I've been catching up with Titan, which is kind of all over the place this season. I thought last season was a little bit more focused. This season, I think they're trying to. I mean, they're obviously trying to finish it. And the death metal intro was an interesting choice. I mean, you literally see Eren Yeager walking around in the intro, a gray hoodie with his hair tied back and everything, like being emo as shit, and there's just like death metal screamo in the background, and I'm like, this
just felt so numb.
That's not death metal, but anyway.
No,
I know.
That's like
that's
grunge, alt rock.
It's more like alt rock, but so but anyway, a new season of Attack on Titan is good so far. Not as good as the last season, I don't think, but it's still pretty solid. And then I've also been watching Dress Up Darling, which is cute as fuck, and everybody should watch that. Also, it's lewd as fuck, and everybody should watch it. But in a wholesome way. Like, it's not like To Love Ru lewd, where they're just doing it for shits and giggles. Like, there's actual narrative. There's actually some organic narrative to. I mean, you're talking about a girl who wants to dress up in nothing but sexy cosplay, and a poor guy who's very much of a bit of a beta and a loner, who's being thrust into this world of sexy cosplay and fantasy fulfillment and a bunch of stuff that he's just all he wants to do is make Japanese traditional dolls and do their clothing, and this very wholesome thing where he mostly caters to old ladies, and suddenly he's being thrust into a horny teenager's life who wants to dress up as a character from an eroge. So they've got a very cute dynamic, and the main character is absolutely the main heroine, is absolutely adorable, and just wholesome as hell, and a fantastic waifu of the season. If you're into that kind of thing, it couldn't be me. But that show's worth watching as well. I haven't really touched anything else this season because once again we've got 13.7 billion isekai that I don't care about. And I think there's a few other things, but they look like very bone stock shonen, so I haven't really found anything else that I want to dip my toes in. I also released on my YouTube channel a cooking video. If you don't understand the context of it, that's fine. I won't go into it here, but go watch me make a chicken sandwich on my YouTube channel sometime.
Yeah, I saw it. It's good.
They look delish. They're pretty delish.
Good sandwich.
Little
let on the lettuce, but you know.
Oh my god! I will slaughter you. I'm having Vietnam flashbacks right now. Please stop.
It's funnier if people don't know the context.
I feel like it absolutely is, so I'm not going to give the context for any of this. But anyone who mentions lettuce in my comment section, you're getting blocked.
Yep.
So go watch my video though. Worked really hard on it, and I have a second one coming next month, where we try some different sandwiches. And yes, they're going to have lettuce.
Are you not entertained?
Shut the fuck up. Literally consider doing that.
Yep.
Speaking
of watching things, I did forget that last night I did watch the first episode of the Cuphead show before I fell asleep.
Oh, that's out. I had no idea that was out so far.
Yeah, Cuphead show's out. Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun. I'm gonna keep watching more of that.
The game, which is ball-bustingly hard, and not in a good way, I think.
I played it a few years ago, and It was fine. I think I remember not liking it as much because I was expecting something a bit more level based, and that game was just like all bosses.
Yeah, you get like one actual level the entire. Yeah, I agree. If it was more level based stuff with smaller enemies, I would enjoy it a lot more.
Yeah, when I first heard about it, I was expecting something more like Mega Man, and that's what I really wanted at the time. And I didn't get that,
Yeah.
so I was like, eh. But I should give it another
and
chance.
And again, if the final boss was ball-bustingly hard, but the rest of them were like, kind of like training missions for the final boss where you had to face one aspect of the final boss or whatever, I think the game would have flowed more organically. But the fact that every boss is vastly different, requires a completely different strategy, and they're all ball-bustingly hard means your progress just goes at a snail's pace, unless you're like a really avid like retro gamer who has never lost his like if you've never lost your like muscle memory for dealing with really difficult bullet hells and shit, then I'm sure the game's lovely and exactly what you want. But for an average gamer like me who hasn't played a Super Nintendo game in probably 15 years, unless it's named Star Fox, then like it can be kind of a ball busting experience. But I like the lore of it. I like the art of it. Obviously, the art's fantastic, and I'm interested in the show.
Yeah,
I just didn't know it was out yet.
Yeah, no, it just came out yesterday, I think.
Yep. But yeah, no, other than that, like not really doing a whole lot this week. Just kind of vibing and catching up with animes and stuff this season.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah, in terms of anime, like the only one I'm really watching right now is the new Pretty Cure season, which Crunchyroll didn't announce that they had renewed their license for Pretty Cure until literally just like a couple of hours before the episode aired, which left the entire Pretty Cure fan base just on the edge of their seats the entire time. It's like,
wow, yeah, all six people were shocked.
Shut the fuck up.
All 6 of the 30-year-olds that watch that show.
I swear to God, both of you. But yeah,
their basements were rumbling.
We're two episodes in, and I think the 3rd episode premieres tonight. It's fine. My main problem with the season is just it's very much just paint by numbers Pretty Cure, and it doesn't really have a unique tone, style, or even really good action scenes to differentiate it from other seasons terribly well.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some clips of Precure, and that shit can get so unnecessarily brutal sometimes.
It can. It really can.
And I would like to see them lean like 1,000,000% into that just for one season, and just make a really like heinously violent version of it. Just these people. And it doesn't have to have like blood and gore, but it's like make you feel the punches, man. Make you feel the attacks.
You want Max Heart. There is one season you're talking about, and it exists.
Well, do more of that shit. Do more of that shit.
Yeah, the problem is, ever since there was a previous season like some 7-8 years ago called Go Princess, and apparently the final few fights of that show got so intense that it actually scared young children, and Toei Animation got a bunch of complaint letters from concerned parents, the people who ruin everything.
Mm-hmm.
And because, children kind of are the main demographic of Pretty Cure, and they didn't want to lose that demographic.
It's not kind of. It definitely is, Kevin.
Oh, I
want you to know that.
I know. It definitely is.
That was called sarcasm. But, just a little bit. But yeah, since children are, kind of the demographic for Pretty Cure, they've toned down the action for the series a little bit. Like, there was an entire season where the typical martial arts fighting of the series was just completely removed in favor of just everybody beam spamming, which it worked,
boy.
but it didn't feel like Pretty Cure at that point. It was just a weird outlier season.
That's one thing I've always liked more about Symphogear is that, especially with the character Hibiki, is that she spends most of her time just punching gods in the fucking face, and that's really satisfying to me. Or kicking, because she's got them legs.
We like Hibiki, but
we like.
Somebody's vacuuming outside. I hope that isn't getting picked up.
Can't hear it.
Okay.
That having been said, but yeah, jeez. The last couple of seasons have returned to, the regular fighting of Pretty Cure, but they're limiting it in really specific ways. Like, not a whole lot of like punching people in the face. Like, it's mostly just running, jumping, and kicking over and over until the fight ends.
Damn, even the Powerpuff Girls could knock some teeth out.
I know, right? Jesus.
Yeah,
They often did. How many of their villains ended up with half their teeth by the time they were done?
Yeah. And
yet they always got them back. What is going on there?
Crazy too.
man, Townsville must have really, really good dental.
Yeah.
And they service the villains. They're equal opportunity.
Exactly. Wow.
You gotta go where the money is.
Oh, Mojo Jojo, 6th time this week. All right, let's get them dentures fixed.
Thank you.
I need my teeth fixed. The teeth that are in my mouth, I need them fixed. The ones I used to chew, those ones.
Mojo Jojo. And when he walks in, he's like Mojo Jojo. And when he walks out, he's like Mojo Jojo.
Yep, that's how it goes.
Yeah. Honestly, if the new season of Pretty Cure doesn't pick up by like episode 15, I'm probably just gonna drop it. And just
Usually 2 core, or are they 1 cores?
full year.
Oh wow, oh, so 4 cores.
That's a lot of time for mediocrity.
I was trying not to say that, but I was yes.
Look, I like to give every season of Pretty Cure the benefit of the doubt as much as possible, because sometimes they really start to pick up about halfway in. But like,
When was the last one you actually liked?
I haven't seen Tropical Rouge yet, but everything that I've seen from it looks really, really good. So probably
you were
about a
watching
year
that
ago.
one.
I was planning on it, but everything just got in my way and I couldn't. So honestly,
Fair enough.
if Delicious Party doesn't pan out, I'm just gonna go back to Tropical Rouge and just binge that. Because all my friends love Tropical Rouge, except for this one guy who's like, it took him 45 episodes of a 46 episode anime to realize it wasn't a serious season of Pretty Cure. It's like,
Yeah,
man,
that
I can't believe I wasted my time on this show. I thought this was going to be a serious season.
When you say all my friends except one guy, I'm just thinking 9 out of 10 dentists did not approve of this season of Pretty Cure.
Exactly. Yeah, it does feel like that. It does.
Remember when you ruined our first episode by talking about Pretty Cure for 45 minutes straight?
I remember. Man, that was a good episode.
Yeah,
Jeez.
for you and nobody else.
You
Oh
could
my
have stopped
God.
me.
No. For him and the other 6 fans. Come on now.
Yeah.
And he's friends with all of them.
Well,
Remember?
Kevin, yeah, exactly. Kevin, we didn't have a rapport yet, so, I didn't feel comfortable. I had known you for like 3 weeks at that point.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
We just kind of jumped into doing a podcast out of nowhere, didn't we?
Yep. And now here we are.
Hey, it worked.
Yep. We talk about Pretty Cure substantially less, and we are a better podcast for it. In that vein, shut up.
Okay, fair.
A lot of stuff coming out. If I can interject, there's a lot of stuff coming out later this year that I'm kind of hyped for. A lot of it's 2nd or 3rd season stuff. We get another season of Danmachi coming.
Yep.
Which I really liked how the last season ended, because
Yes.
the hero does, like, spoiler alert, the hero does not win the final fight.
Mhm.
And I really like the fact that, like, that Minotaur is kind of becoming his, like, you remember the enemy in Dark Souls 2 that just, like, predates on you the entire time you're playing, and he just shows up like 16 times throughout the game just to dick with you? Like, that's how the Minotaur feels. He feels like a test that's
Yeah.
constantly pressuring him. And the
Yep.
first time he beat him, and now he just got his teeth kicked in, and it's going to motivate the main character to push his limits and be even stronger. And I feel like he's going to start becoming fixated on that Minotaur, and I'm really excited to see where the next season goes.
Yeah.
And then we've got Shield Hero Season 2 coming out next season, I think, which I have been waiting way too long for. And
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing because I feel like if somebody doesn't know anything about Danmachi, just from what trends, they're just going to assume it's a show about a guy fighting a Minotaur every episode.
Yeah, it's really not.
And that's really funny to me.
I mean, they are like the best scenes in the show.
I know,
But
I get it, but I like if you don't know anything about Danmachi and you just follow what trends, it just seems like it's a show where a dude fights a Minotaur.
It's like Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is about people fighting in the exact same forest clan. So
No.
it's about people with magic powers fighting in the exact same forest clearing, because every single clip I've seen from the Crunchyroll collection has just been two random people fighting in the exact same fucking forest.
Look,
I'm like, man, your
look.
background artists are putting in work, aren't they?
look, okay. I don't want to defend Jujutsu Kaisen because I watched it and I was thoroughly bored and I gave it like a 5.5. But if I can be fair for a second, it's just that that's one particular stretch of like 8 episodes in the middle where there happened to be a lot of fighting. Like there's more to the show than that.
I'm sure that's true, but like the way that
Yeah.
Crunchyroll has been like doing their
Yeah.
clips or whatever, like
Oh, yeah.
I literally got the impression, I'm like, is this literally just a show of a bunch of like anime wizards fighting with fucking like in the exact same forest clearing? Is this like the Tournament of Power? Is this like the Tournament of Cell's Tournament of Power where 24 episodes exist on one fucking square of rock?
Well,
Like,
you know,
come on,
the tuning exams are really popular 20 years ago.
Oh.
So let's just make a series that's just people fighting in a forest. Why not?
Yeah, literally. But yeah, Shield Hero, we get the, I don't know if it's the final season or we get just another season of Dr. Stone this year, and I fucking
No,
love
it's not going to be the final one. I'm
No,
caught up
good,
with the
good.
manga. They're very behind the manga.
Okay, good. So we're getting another season of Dr. Stone, which I'm all for, and I hope that show never loses steam because I fucking love Dr. Stone.
Well, I still love the manga to this point, so
Chad
Okay.
Nerd beats up JoJo characters. Let's go.
Mhm.
Like,
That's it. You've boiled down Dr. Stone to its bare essentials.
yep, it's about the Chad Nerd outsmarting a bunch of meathead JoJo characters.
destroys meatheads with logic and facts.
With logic and facts. Oh god, I love
Yeah.
Dr. Stone. It's fantastic. What a great subversion of the shonen trope. Like,
Yeah,
your power level is based on your intelligence. Like, yeah, please.
Yeah, it certainly goes some interesting places later on. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, good. Because I know the third season is they're going on the expedition to find the source of the green wave.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to
There-
see some pirate hat.
It's almost frustrating. I get to be that manga reader now because there's so many elements where I'm like, wait a minute, I can't say this because the anime hasn't even touched on this yet. I'm like, how is the anime not touched? How is the anime not touched on this yet? This has been like a common discussion point for like 3 years now.
The only
I'm like,
mangas I've
there we
ever
go.
finished are the ones where the series is clearly never getting another season. Like, I'm going to shame myself here for a minute. I was really invested into Citrus because I love fucked up romances. The more fucked up, the better. Dude, like, my favorite animes are like Orimo and Citrus and Domestic Girlfriend and like Scum's Wish. These are like some of my favorite shows, and they're all horrendously fucked up romances. So I was really invested in Citrus, and I ended up finishing that as a manga because I knew it was never going to get a second season after the backlash Crunchyroll received.
You're like Lady Gaga. You like the raw bad romance.
I do like the bad romance. I'm not going to say the rest of that. The bad romance. Yes.
Yeah.
I do love the bad romance.
Yeah. I've been viewers of the show will know. I've been more into manga recently just because it's I don't know. It just fits into my life better, and I just feel like the industry in general, animation quality has just been on a downturn for a while outside of some very specific things.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there isn't as much to gain. And I went on this whole spiel a few episodes ago about how I've kind of just stopped the weekly grind just because the apps are such fucking garbage, and pirating shit has been so fucking annoying because like apps go up and then they go down and then you have to find new sources, and it's just such a pain in the ass. I'm just like, I'm not interested in the rat race anymore. You know, if something looks good, I'll wait for it to finish and I'll binge it.
Yep, that's kind of where I've been at. Like I said, I usually pick about 4 or 5 shows each season to really get into, and I've only watched at most 3. This has been the most I've watched in a single season, and I think in a year and a half. Yeah,
it's sad because I've been watching seasonal anime for about 10 years now, and this is the first time I'm just like, you know what? I quit. I'm done with the rat race.
Well, and also a combination of like the industry coming, pirating and stuff, and then also finally, and then also COVID basically freezing a lot of projects and pushing them back has just meant that the anime industry quick sidebar, and I won't go on about this, but this is the big reason that I've become enraptured with VTubers, because like it's content that fits my aesthetic, that is consistently coming out and of usual general quality. And it's just like the anime industry hasn't been able to match that recently because of all of the pushback.
Yeah. For me, it's the main thing is just that it's spread throughout a lot of different apps, and they're all garbage. So...
Yeah, dude. The only one that I can stand to use is Verve, but Verve is missing a lot of really relevant content. But like, I'm not willing to go to Funimation's website and subscribe to them to use it to see the rest of it, because Funimation's service is so fucking terrible.
I have theorized that now that Sony owns both Crunchyroll and Funimation, they have to combine the services at some point to one super app. Like, I feel like that has to happen at some point.
It will. It probably will, and they'll probably use Verve. Because Verve.
Well, they don't own Verve, because Verve is by Elation. So.
Oh man, that's
I feel like Verve has been losing sources left and right. Like Rooster Teeth's leaving.
Rooster Teeth
actually,
left.
No, they left at the beginning. Sorry, I forget that time passes sometimes. They left at the beginning of the year. They lost High Dive earlier. They lost, like.
Well, they lost High Dive because of the Sony thing. I'm pretty sure, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Verve is on a slow death spiral, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Verve, they lost. They also lost Boomerang. They lost the Boomerang. They lost the Nick Splat. Well, they've just been losing. They've been hemorrhaging shit left and right.
Yeah, all they have now is Crunchyroll, Mondo, and Verve Select, which is just
and nobody fucking knows what. Oh yeah, they also lost Curiosity Stream. I forgot that.
They did.
Oh wait, they did. Holy shit.
Yeah, there's like nothing there. Verve's days are numbered.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because it's by far the best designed and like.
Yeah, it has hexagons. Hexagons are awesome. Before Twitter ruined them.
Well, yeah, and then it's also, but like its net coding is also probably the most stable of any of the services, which is unfortunate because they put a lot of work into like making a stable service, and then they just Sony's just gonna fucking murder it because, no offense, but Sony is one of the dumbest fucking tech companies on planet Earth.
We've had Anubis on the show. We know.
Yeah,
he will talk about that every chance he gets.
Yep.
Kevin, you know what that is?
What?
That's a finished first segment right there.
I think so, yeah.
Yep. So we'll take a break, and then we'll be right back and talk about our Ohayocon experiences.
Woohoo!
Stay tuned.
Or lack thereof. Never mind. We'll save it for later.
We'll see you on the next segment.
Hey, welcome back to the bakagaijinshow. We went to a convention.
We did.
Yep, and we're going to talk about it, whether you want us to or not.
Yeah. You can't stop us. We want to. So yeah, the entire so like the convention itself went pretty smoothly.
Yeah.
I would argue it's everything around the convention that was an absolute clusterfuck.
Yep.
Just trying to get there and making sure everyone had, like, everyone could get there, and that nobody ended up, like, massively inconvenienced was a massive pain in the ass.
Yeah.
At least halfway on my end. There was like a miscommunication, because I thought that we were going to be there on the 9th, but we were actually going to be there on the 10th. But your parents, Zeke, were going out on like a vacation on the 9th, or sorry, on the 10th.
On the 10th. Yeah, they're going to New Orleans.
So I had to quickly buy you a night at a completely different hotel just to make sure you could get there.
The irony being, the room at the Ramada was actually nicer than the room we ended up staying in.
It was. God. Yeah, like, I saw the picture of the Ramada room that you got and compared it to, like, the Red Roof rooms that we ended up getting, and, man, the Red Roof is not nearly as good as the Ramada, and I'm pretty sure the Red Roof cost more.
Yes, it did, actually. The Ramada was only, like, $72.
Yeah, that's like $72 for one night. Meanwhile, I think the Red Roof was like significant.
Some of the nights were over 100. I know that.
Yeah. So that was a pretty notable thing.
Yeah. The Ramada had a genius invention we like to call carpet.
Yeah, our original plan for you to stay in our room and have you sleep on the floor didn't exactly pan out because
I just didn't expect the floor to be so shit.
Just hard wood flooring did not work out.
No, especially with all the walking we were doing, my legs would have been fucking shit with that. So I ended up getting my own room, which was a better deal.
Yeah, it's a good thing your mom paid for that because that ended up working out better for you as well because we had to leave Sunday afternoon, and you would have been shit out of luck if you had stayed in our room. Because
my parents wouldn't have been back yet to pick me up.
Yeah, so like throughout the cosmic powers of the universe, everything managed to work out in that regard.
Yeah.
And people say God doesn't exist.
Don't thank God for what my parents' money did.
Yeah, but he inspired that. I'm not gonna go there.
If he inspired global capitalism, I don't know why you still believe in him.
Anyway, moving on.
Salient points aside.
The only problem with capitalism is that it's run by human beings.
That is very true.
Just like socialism in Venezuela.
I don't know if we had robot capitalism. I'm not sure how much better that would be. That's a topic for another episode.
That might be even worse.
I could say something as a counterpoint, but I don't want to bring that shit up on this podcast. So
yeah.
Let's not do that. That's something for the after show.
Bakagaijin After Dark.
Which is funny because the whole conceit of the show was that it was like an After Dark style show. So After Dark, I guess is just like at 6 a.m.
You ever listen to you ever like gone onto iTunes and then gone on streaming music services and listened to like techno at like 3 a.m. and listen to some chick just talk about how she likes cock in her pussy like for fucking like to the beat of a song? Because that's
yes, but I don't use iTunes because I'm not a shill.
Well, I'm not either. This is back when I was like 15.
Right, yeah.
And I had an iPod. Remember iPods, guys?
Yep, yeah, I remember. I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm will press charges.
Guys, I need $10,000 wired to me in an escape plan. I out Pizza the Hut. Now they're after me.
They send the Noid after
Nobody
you,
out Pizza the Hut.
Was the Noid Pizza Hut? Who was the Noid?
I think the Noid was Pizza Hut. The Noid was Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Also, I imagine the CEO of Pizza Hut is actually just Jabba the Hutt's cousin.
That would make sense. He's
just exactly, Pizza the Hut. He's just a giant like slug monster who just eats pizza all day and says
That is literally a joke in Spaceballs. Congratulations, you've reinvented a joke that was made in 1984.
Behind the curve. Little sigh, Baka.
That reminds me of the Mr. Green story, which I feel compelled to tell because I don't think Serodin's ever heard the Mr. Green story.
Go ahead, please.
I spent several summers at a summer camp, and at the summer camp, to get to like the bonfire area, we had to cross a dam. And at one point, this one guy, his name was Alex Green, he said to one of the counselors, and all the counselors have like nicknames, so like they'd be named after like pop culture things, like, or like just phrases like bada bing or Shazam or something. And this guy's name was Strider after, Lord of the Rings. And he said, "So Strider, did you follow the damn rules?" And Strider just looks at him and he's like, "Yes, Mr. Green, you are the first person in the 50-year history of this camp to ever make that joke." Needless to say, Mr. Green did not talk for the next hour or so. Just got shut down hard.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That moment is stuck in my brain ever since.
Yes, you're the first person in the 50-year history of this camp. I fucking love people who do that shit. It's just like, wow, haven't ever heard that one before.
What makes it even better is that Strider was the owner's son, so he had literally been running this camp. He had been like he had been like on staff since he was like 16.
Oh my god.
So he had probably heard more than anyone else working there. He had probably he made that joke to the one person who no doubt had heard that joke more than anyone.
God, I'm pretty sure that, like, as he heard that, he could he was like just trying not to ball up into a fist, just like control yourself. Do not strangle the child. That's illegal.
This happens every year. This happens every year. But yes, we did follow the damn rules, in case you were wondering.
Oh, I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, they had a big sign that said the damn rules. So I mean, how could you not?
So
Also, there was like 10 feet of chain link fence on either side of the dam, so was kind of impossible to fall off.
Yeah.
So at the summer camp I used to work at, which is unfortunately closed down this past year, rest in peace.
Of course.
They it's just my scout council locally is horrendous at managing money. It's been pouring money into.
So we can't even blame it on COVID. It's just poor management.
No. It's just poor management. So I mean, I'm sure COVID had something to do with it, but if they wouldn't have died from it if their management skills weren't so bad, they have a nasty habit of pouring money into another camp that the council owns that is kind of shit and needs a lot of repair, and it would be better off just being sold back to the county and then putting their money into the camp. But they decided instead to save it for nostalgia reasons and then close down the good camp. But that's the kind of management decisions they were making. But at the lakefront, we had a series of signs that read a poem, and it was about not littering. And I remember this vividly. It read, if with litter you would disgrace and spoil the beauty of this place, may indigestion rack your chest and ants invade your pants and vest.
Oh my god! Wow, they're not fucking around.
I was like, for a say-so poem, that's pretty fucking savage.
If you drop a wrapper on the ground, your soul will be damned to hell.
Right, I'll drown you in the fucking lake. Go to sleep, bitch. Die, mother.
That is the go to fuck to sleep of signs.
Yeah, it really. It is ingrained into my brain.
That is good. Kevin, you have any summer camp stories?
Nah, I never really went to summer camp. I did one year, but I don't remember it terribly well. Like, it was a really boring summer camp, and not a whole lot happened. I think the most I did was I attempted archery and failed at it miserably. That's it.
See, I attempted archery and I was fucking great at it.
Yeah, see, I actually taught archery at my camp.
Nice.
That is my job. As
Nice.
Archery instructor.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think somebody just hit on the door by accident.
Yeah.
So fuck summer camp. You were talking about a convention, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This is not the summer camp podcast. Not yet anyway.
Hey, on target.
One day. Yeah, so let's talk about the convention itself.
It was good.
Day one, had to stand in a line for 3 hours.
Woo!
Oh my god, yeah. That damn near killed me, just standing in line the entire time.
I all stood in line. I sat outside and smoked half the time. So that's I got some fresh air. I took my mask off. It was wonderful.
How nobody got on you for that? I don't know.
Not to mention you were just pinging around the line, just being like, oh hey, there's a cosplay over there, I'll be right back.
I mean, a lot of the chicks there were really hot, so
True,
yes,
true.
of course, that's exactly what I would do. But I got a massive amount of cosplay photos, and so that was fantastic. So one of the things I noticed this weekend was that the overall quality of cosplay was actually pretty great.
Yeah.
I think that's two parts. One, there was no live convention last year, so people had a whole extra year to work on the cosplays they were going to wear for last year.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of people, like, this convention actually happened later this year than it usually does. It usually happens second or fourth week of January, which is usually before people are able to get their refund checks in. And so I'm sure a lot of these cosplays this year were purchased or worked on with refund money.
Yeah.
So honestly, the overall quality of cosplay this year was much better. Usually, you see like half the convention just walking around in like fucking like either just the jacket of a character or like onesies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
This is
like,
this is an important note that you've been to this convention like 10 times or something, right?
yeah, I've been going since 2010. So this
Yeah.
is my 11th convention, 11th Ohayocon.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's my 10th because there was one year I didn't go, or in the mid 2010s. But yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
this
this
is
is like my first convention ever, and wow.
Mm-hmm.
You should try to make it to Colossal.
Not a good chance of that happening, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, Colossal's also more expensive.
Exactly.
Like,
Like I said, not a good chance of it happening.
yeah.
Yeah, you see, the Kalahari is actually a good hotel, so
The Kalahari is a fantastic hotel, but you're going to pay $500 per person per the weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, can't.
see, it's a
Yeah,
hotel
and-
and water park, so you know how that goes.
That'll do it.
I've
It's a hotel
I've
and a-
never
and a-
stayed there personally, but the student council at my school did make trips for themselves to go, of course. So, and
they did.
I was on the student council for a bit, and I found out about their like secret plan to just do these stupid vacations for themselves, and I'm like, this is unethical. I want no part of this, and I just left.
So something else about OhioCon is they've never actually been known for their panel quality.
Yeah.
Usually they have a million panels, but they're not usually like a lot of them aren't great. I've been to a lot of flop panels before.
Mhm.
I would say the 3 or 4 panels I went to this year were actually very well done. So and they had a far fewer number of them, and I think that's honestly the best place to go. The best way to do it is to have less panels, but have it be like better quality panels. I was actually really pleased with the panel quality this year. ColossalCon, just going back to that, is actually known for their panel quality. Their panels are fantastic.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing they lack is they have a much smaller dealer's room.
Yeah.
Their artist alley is much better. So interesting thing about OhioCon, most anime conventions you go to, the artist alley is going to have a bunch of people who do fan art.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll be able to pick up. So if like you've got an obscure series that like isn't really hot and the main dealer's room isn't selling merch, chances are you'll find an artist that you can either in the artist alley who you can either commission a piece from. Like you go in Friday, say, hey, can I get a colored sketch of this character? And they'll be like, yeah, sure. And then they'll have it done for you by Sunday by the time you pick it up.
Yeah.
Or they'll just have that fan art there, or they'll sell Dakimakuras, or they'll sell like all kinds of stuff, stickers, posters, stuff like that. So the thing about OhioCon is and I think this happened during my time going there. Somebody like technically that's not legal, but like most companies look the other way because they like to support conventions and they realize that a lot of people go for those artist alleys.
Yeah.
So the politics of it is if we aren't told explicitly that you're doing this, we don't care. Some concerned citizen at OhioCon, either in the management or one of the staff, contacted Funimation one year and told them that the artists were producing art of like Dragon Ball or something. And because Funimation was told directly, they weren't allowed to ignore it. So they had to post a cease and desist on OhioCon. So OhioCon now doesn't allow artists in the artist alley who do nothing but fan art. They have to bring original art. So if you're going to OhioCon for fan art stuff in the artist alley, you'll be sorely disappointed. Not to say that the artist alley is bad. There's some great artists there, and there's some really cool stuff. But a lot of it is you're not going to be able to find fan merch or fan products. And that's because because again, some idiot decided to confront Funimation, and once Funimation was confronted with an official report, they are legally obligated to enforce it. If they don't know, they don't care. But
yeah. That was probably the most disappointing thing about it, honestly.
Yeah. Of the like dozens of people that were in the artist alley and of the like hundreds of pieces of artwork, you and I found exactly one piece of fan art.
We did see one. Someone snuck in. Someone snuck in a Kokichiyama shirt. We saw
They
you.
did.
You know who you are, rule breaker.
We respect
Really.
you.
Yeah,
hey,
really.
we respect you. Seriously, thank you.
I mean, it's in the spirit of Kokichiyama to do so, honestly.
It is.
So you know. But yeah, that was really upsetting, and I hope I can get to go to a convention that has fan art because that would probably be a better
Pretty
time.
much every other convention on Planet does. Pretty much every other convention
Yeah.
I've been to has had it. Youmacon up in Michigan definitely had a lot of fan art. And Colossal Con has probably the best artist alley I've ever seen at a convention.
Yeah.
The one benefit to Ohayocon is they do have a Hidana into doujinshi goods.
Yes, they do, and
And most other conventions do not have Hidane. So if you're looking for hentai stuff, like, forget it. You're not going to find it at most. You might find a sprinkling, you might find a couple of crates of doujinshis, but Hidane has the whole fucking spread.
Yeah, they do.
Hendane
had some good stuff here. I wasn't able to get to them day one because I went to the because I skipped over them to get a chat in and an autograph from Michael Sinter Nicholas, but which he's fun to talk to. Had a great time talking with him.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to do that.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that one. But apparently, while I was doing that, somebody ran over to the Hendane booth and just relieved them of all of their Tolovru doujinshi.
Oh my god, some of those are fucking fantastic too. Some of the art in those are wonderful.
They are.
Like, I don't even like that show. That show's trash, but like at the same time, I'm just kidding. But like at the same time,
No, Tolovru
doujinshis are fantastic.
no, you can call it trash because Tolovru is literally just softcore pornography. It really is.
Did you see the poster for like their third season or whatever in Japan, where it was like a billboard and they actually made 3D tits on it? They made 3D breasts on it. Like, I was like in fucking disbelief. I'm like, yep, and there's your sign. But
Zeke, what the fuck are you doing?
Going through tax forms actually. My dad just asked for my W-2, so I'm just.
Our conversation is that boring that you're going through tax forms right now.
Look, I got a text.
I feel so appreciated.
I got a text.
Put me back on my corner so I can pedal for fucking.
I was thinking about a response as I was going through my taxes. So
anyway,
I just want you to know. I just wanted. Yeah, go on.
No, the other problem with Hidane this year. Also, listen. I'm talking directly to you, the bastard who bought them out of every number 2 doujin they had. I will find you, and I will hurt you.
It's like one of your favorite artists.
Number 2 is my favorite artist, and his dialogue's fucking hilariously bad, and that's the best part about it. The dialogue is like 70s porno bad. It's like lemon stealing whores bad. It's like it's like no body of water is safe without a lifeguard. Oh, that's a good enough reason to put my wiener in you. Like, let's go.
This isn't a beach. This is a bathtub.
I like how you kind of almost said that in Gura's voice, and I'm not okay with it.
That's like the one that's in my head, really.
I know, because you've never seen you probably haven't seen the original clip.
I have.
Yeah. Just no. But yeah, so somebody bought them out of number 2, and because of the COVID stuff, they haven't been able to contact their person in Japan who purchases all the doujins for them, and get much stock from them. So they were a couple of years behind on stock.
Yeah, they did not have anything from C99.
Yeah, and then they had, of course, people coming in and desperate for new doujinshi, so people were doing complete buyouts of entire sections.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it wasn't I actually ended up, this is the first year in like 7 years I haven't bought anything whatsoever. Not that I really buy doujinshis much anymore, because they literally just sit in my closet. Like, I have them as collections, and some of them are funny to look at, but like, for the most part, like, I'm kind of over my doujinshi collecting phase, but even if I wasn't, there were still a few I was looking for, and they didn't have any of them because there was nothing from the last 2 comicettes.
Yeah, I think I ended up getting lucky considering that the shit that I'm into, because I ended up getting a Gegege no Kitaro doujinshi with Nekomusume and Mana, which that's a really good one. I really like that one. I got super lucky by finding the only Yuri Yuri doujinshi that they had, and it was from one of my favorite artists, so I immediately picked that up. There was a Gao Gaigar and Betterman doujinshi that I found in their like retro throwback section, and you know, Zeke knows this, Gao Gaigar's my shit, so couldn't pass that up. And Kyubey actually got me a Tomoyo After Dojinshi as a gift, so that was nice. So I ended up walking away with like a pretty decent stack of shit.
The last Dojinji I bought from them was one of Abigail Williams from Fate Grand Order, and everybody knows keyhole in her forehead.
Yeah.
That's going to be the end of that sentence. Let me just say the facial expression she makes is fucking hysterical.
I can imagine.
And it's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. So that's all that you're gonna get from that. And hentai is your friend, folks.
Yeah, Zeke actually, yeah, like on like day 2 or something, Zeke saw me. Like Zeke actually met up with me while I was perusing their shit.
That was that was Sunday, yeah.
Yeah. Which you just stood over there like, I am not getting into this.
I am far too asexual for this.
Meanwhile, I'm just talking it up with the main guy there, like about like different Toleveru Dojinshi and.
Yeah, I was just standing.
The guys are incredibly cultured, and you can talk to them about literally anything, and they'll just be supportive and talk shop with you.
Yeah.
So
we ended up talking about Gundam for a surprisingly long amount of time.
well, yeah, absolutely. The guys are very, very well in everything lewd and not lewd. And had some very fascinating conversations with them.
Yeah.
Also, the owner of Hidane was not at the booth, which was interesting. He's usually there, and I don't know what he was doing this weekend, but he wasn't at the booth. His subs were working the booth this year, so. But he's by far the best part about that booth.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, maybe next year. But yeah. So you mentioned panels. And me and Zeke actually did go to one panel together. It did not go well.
No.
Oh man.
No.
Now Zeke's been trying to cleanse his mind of this panel, but I've been thinking about it all week.
Yeah.
It was the it was the psychology in Danganronpa panel, and God, the thing is, I respect the people there in terms of them trying to open up conversation regarding like mental illness and shit like that. The problem is no. Listen.
I'm just saying I don't respect them. I don't respect them. I'd throw tomatoes at them if I could.
Can you not talk over me though?
Well, first of all, I've barely been talking the last 5 minutes, so I feel like I'm overdue too.
Okay, fair. That's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're too busy paying taxes.
Yeah, but
yeah, you can keep going though.
Yeah, I respect them for trying to open up conversation regarding like mental illness or whatever. My problem is
what's wrong.
My problem is they did that with Danganronpa and they did it really, really badly.
I was just say, talking about mental illness is an admirable charge. If you have the depth of personality to do so, they did not have the depth of knowledge or personality to do so. Is what I got. Is the gist I got. I did not attend the panel though, so
we bailed halfway through after they talked about like 2 characters and. The thing that made us bail was when they were talking about the character of Chihiro, which, if you don't know anything about Chihiro, you don't mind spoilers for the second case of the first Danganronpa game, right?
No, I'm good.
Serodin.
Danganronpa is probably something I will never touch because it's not my kind of game, so go for it.
Okay, so the whole thing with Chihiro as a character is that she is actually a he, and the entire reason why is because Chihiro was bullied in school relentlessly and dresses up as a female and presents as female because like Chihiro is typically very meek, small, has a feminine face, and is not terribly strong, like is very physically weak. So Chihiro's just like, well, I might as well just dress as a girl since, you know, everyone makes fun of me for practically being a girl anyway. I don't want to, you know, deal with the harassment anymore. I might as well just do this.
Essentially bullied for not being masculine enough.
Exactly. And the whole point of the second case is, like, Chihiro was trying to, like, relate to the strongest, like, the most strongest masculine person that he could find among the ultimates that were in the school, namely Mondo, and like was trying to appeal to Mondo, being like, you know, teach me how to be strong like you. But there's a prevailing misconception / fan headcanon where Chihiro is a trans female.
Yeah.
Which, if you really, really, which trying to marry that with what the actual game is trying to do with the character, I don't know, it feels pretty offensive, actually.
Yeah, it's very bad.
Yeah, but a lot of people just ignore the entire thing about Chihiro's character being male and being bullied for, not, being masculine.
There's something insidious about taking a character whose defining trait is wanting to be seen as wanting to be accepted for their masculinity and making it into a character that apparently just wants to be feminine.
It's completely antithetical to the intent, and the people who ran this panel ran with the assumption that Chihiro is trans, which was their first mistake. Because
their first this was like topic number 3. They've made mistakes before this.
Yeah, but like, what I don't understand is that there was indication when they were going over Toko as a character, like Toko in Genocider Show, that
yes,
they actually did do their research on the games and that they were actually paying attention to a lot of the nitty-gritty details. But for some reason with Chihiro, that went completely out the window.
Yeah, like they brought up a lot of obscure things about Fukawa's backstory from another episode. So, like, clearly they read the games, but apparently they just made the conscious decision to ignore the text when it didn't suit their agenda.
Yeah, and it felt super disingenuous when they took that angle with Chihiro as a character and basically spun it off into, well, if Chihiro is trans, then it's offensive in this way, but if Chihiro isn't trans, then it's offensive in completely different ways.
Yeah,
that the text
one of those
doesn't say at all.
One of those fucking circular ass arguments where you disagreeing with the argument supports their point, which I just fucking hate when people do that.
But it's extra disingenuous because it is a deliberate like they are deliberately misinterpreting the text and ignoring parts of it that don't suit what they're trying to say.
Yes.
Like
This just reeks of like people reading way too far into shit and just
the problem is they weren't reading into it enough, and because they weren't reading into the actual story enough, they just run with their own personal headcanons as fact.
Yeah,
exactly, or something like that. Exactly. They obviously didn't catch the. It's the same issue I have with people who like don't understand the ending of Oreimo. It's like, you guys didn't watch the show, did you? Or if you did, you turned it on and didn't actually read all of the subtleties of the story and the subtleties of each.
I mean, like, okay, so like at this point, this fucking stupid discourse has been going on for a decade now. There's no more willful ignorance anymore. This is not pre-translation days. We are running off of like interpreted, something awful posts anymore. Like, that's not what's happening anymore. This is just willful ignorance at this point. This is, I don't like what the story is actually about, so I'm going to pretend it's about something else. And what really gets me is the fact that when they do that, not always on this topic, but specifically on other topics where they blatantly misinterpret things, is that they very strongly misrepresent Kazutaka Kodaka and his beliefs and what he was trying to convey. And that's something I take a lot of personal offense to as someone who respects him a lot.
Well, yeah, it's a complete disservice to the creator as well, who had intention with their actions, writing.
Yeah.
So would offend the hell out of me.
Yeah, as a guy who has written novels worth of analysis about Kazutaka Kodaka, like, this kind of shit just infuriates me. And that wasn't even okay, so that was the most egregious thing of the panel that we saw, but there were things before that really annoyed me, and just how flagrant they were in making assumptions about his work and misreading things. And it was just a very miserable half hour, so much so that we got up, we left, and we did not come back for the other Danganronpa panel because we were just too traumatized.
Yeah, that actually just that panel completely killed my momentum for the rest of the night, and I was just so tired. I just went back to the hotel room, and I had to apologize to the person who was running the second Danganronpa panel, because I'm actually friends with them, and I had to apologize to them. It's like, I was too tired. I couldn't. I'm sorry.
It was really fucking bad.
It was.
Yeah, that would definitely piss me off.
it made me really mad. Like, we made it a point to sit through the Chihiro segment, but the second the third segment came up and they were about to talk about Celeste,
I literally, well, Celeste is my least favorite character, and I'm not really interested in more debates about her anyway. But like, yeah, I literally whispered to Kevin, like, we can't get up and leave during the Chihiro segment because then we'll look like massive transphobes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So we just had to sit there and listen to them spout this garbage before we could just get up and leave.
It hurt my soul, but I had to sit there and just take it. I was
we were trapped by social convention.
Yeah,
This is what Dr. Doofenshmirtz tried to warn us. This is what Dr. Doofenshmirtz tried to warn us about.
So that reminds me of about 5 years ago, there was a panel that was run on 7, which is one of my favorite animes of all time.
Eureka 7?
And I was expecting them to
show.
like, yeah, it really is. Probably too good. I've always had this opinion of, I was like, man, you guys put way too much fucking thought into a show about surfing robots and romance. But that show is a layer cake. Every time I watch that show, I find a new level of the story that I completely like missed because it's all buried in so much subtext, and sentences that just are left off on a hang. But the thing that bothered me about that panel so much, I had a similar experience where I got up and left because I'm like, I'm the biggest fan of that show. I'm a walking encyclopedia for its lore, and which is, I could write a dissertation on that show's lore. But the biggest thing is I got there, and the entire panel, instead of talking about the merits of Eureka 7, spent most of its time comparing about how it's some love letter to Evangelion. You mean it's Evangelion, but literally everything's better? And it was just the most insulting experience because that reminds me of back when that show was airing, how everybody was like, oh, this is like little girls Evangelion. Like, the discourse was fucking terrible back in 2005, and I'm like, no, this show stands up on its own merits, and it's not trying to be Evangelion. It does have love letters to tons of different pop culture and especially other mecha shows and stuff. It does. I mean, there's literally a scene where Renton goes like psycho berserk mode, in the exact same way that Shinji does, literally screaming "damn it" as he pummels something to death. But, that's a love letter. That is not, we stole this and this entire show is nothing but a mockery of Evangelion. And as a person who fucking despises Evangelion, that was a really fucking insulting panel to go to. So I left halfway through it as well. And I'm like, you guys have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So trust me, the panels can be hit or miss. That's the one thing to always beware of, and sometimes it's not best to go if you have very strong opinions about your favorite anime or favorite media. Sometimes it's not best to go to a panel about it because you have no control over the panel runner's interpretation of your favorite show. And there a lot of times people will have completely different interpretations of stuff, and sometimes they're just fucking wrong.
I'm aware. My thing is that, like, I went into it thinking that I wasn't gonna see. Here's the thing. I told Kevin this. I went into the psychology panel thinking that it was going to be a joke. Like, I was gonna riff on it the whole time. Like, it wasn't gonna be good. But I didn't expect it to be so actually insulting. Like, I expected to be like silly bullshit. Like, the Kokichi Omo lies because he's actually afraid. And it's like, yeah, right, yeah, that. But like, it wasn't like fun shit to riff on. It was like just the most insulting, tired misconceptions that I've been dealing with as a fan for a literal decade at this point. And I just, I want to bleach my fucking brain.
Yeah, this was so bad that me and Zeke actually floated the idea of doing a panel next year tackling misconceptions in Danganronpa.
I would love to. That sounds like a lot of work, but I'd love to do that. I'd love to fucking make a good Danganronpa panel just to, like, correct a cosmic imbalance.
I mean, shit, I could do, like, the fucking, like, PowerPoint presentation. Fuck it.
Yeah, and you know what we're not gonna have? We're not gonna have a fucking buzzer that does the Danganronpa thing.
Oh yeah, they had literally a Danganronpa button that said Danganronpa whenever they pressed it.
Fucking tacky.
Let's move on to other parts of the convention, but the last note I think we should do is we're speaking directly to you, panel runners.
Mm-hmm.
You suck, and you owe that that game a better representation.
You really do.
Yeah. I think I literally saw them on the last day when we were waiting for people outside the dealer's hall. I'm like, oh my god, it's that person.
Yeah.
There they are.
Yeah, they walked
There
right
they are.
past us.
Yeah,
Hold
I
me
was
back!
like,
I'm about to punch a bit. I'm just kidding.
God, I wish I had some tomatoes right now.
I wish.
That's a sentence. I don't even like tomatoes. That's not a sentence I would think normally.
So something I didn't tell you guys about, because this happened when I was randomly walking around, but I found a girl dressed as Sasha Blouse from Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I handed her a bag of potato chips from the food court.
Sometimes I forget her last name is Blouse.
Blouse, yeah.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert right now, skip a few seconds if you don't want to hear this, but I said, sorry you died.
Yeah.
Sorry you got shot in the fucking chest.
Yep.
I already knew about that spoiler going in. You're good.
Yeah. I'm just telling the viewers if you haven't seen the most recent season.
The funny thing is that she was actually supposed to die way earlier, but he liked her enough that he held on for such a long time.
Well, he kind of wrote her out of the show, and then she came back, and then they code geased her.
Yeah, but that's always one of my favorite bit of trivia is that she was supposed to die really early, but fate catches up to us all.
Yep. 1 second.
All right.
We can wait.
Not long though. We got to keep the viewers engaged.
Yeah,
Kevin, make fart noises. There we go. There we go. We got it done.
Letting the dog into the room.
Okay.
Yep.
Hi, Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Don't dox
Oh,
me.
like the Meyer wieners.
Well, he's not a wiener dog. He's a stupid fucking beagle. But we call him Oscar
Don't
because
fucking question my headcanons.
he likes to dig into trash cans. So he's like the dude from Sesame Street.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Oscar, you're such a grouch. Bitch, I live in a fucking trash can.
That reminds me.
To be fair, there's an entire dimension in there.
There has to be.
That reminds me that there's an Easter egg in Halo Infinite on the Streets map where one of the trash cans in the map is labeled as Oscar's house.
That's nice. That's good.
That's funny. So I had kind of a positive experience at the convention. So a couple of the cosplayers I took photos of were actually cosplaying specific VTubers.
Yeah.
I shared a couple of the photos I took on Twitter during the whole experience at the convention. I saw one dressed as Kiara on, I think I saw her on Saturday at the dealer's room, and so I took a picture of her. Actually tagged said VTuber on Twitter in the post. She ended up dropping a like on it, and then I ran into her again that evening, and ended up sharing, like, I was like, hey, I hope you don't mind, I shared this shit on Twitter, and she actually dropped a like on it, and she was like in disbelief. She's like, no way. And I showed her, and then she kind of had like a little bit of a micro meltdown. That's her fucking idol or whatever had actually seen and appreciated the little bit of dedication she showed her, so she had a little bit of an adorable meltdown during it. So I used my clout and powers for good over the weekend, and that honestly just made me grin for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, you told us that story, and I was like, God, that's just beautiful.
Just fucking wholesome as shit. I'm a wholesome motherfucker.
I also just want to point out. If people want to see the pictures that Kevin took, they are in our Discord server. Link below.
Yeah, I threw all of them in image dump. You're gonna have to scroll up a bit, but yeah, they're there.
I can also dump the ones I took too, if you guys are interested
Yeah.
in getting more.
Go ahead.
But yeah, that was kind of a cool experience, and I'm sure these people are not used to getting any kind of like attention from people they idolize. Like I know how excited Kevin's gotten before when he's gotten attention from like industry professionals and stuff.
Yeah.
And it feels good when you idolize people to get that kind of recognition from them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of a fun experience.
Yeah. Speaking of cosplay,
almost made me forget my PTSD about lettuce, but
Almost. The scars never truly heal.
the scar's never going to truly heal. The damage was done.
He will carry it the rest of his life.
but yeah, another another thing, like speaking of cosplay, me and Cube actually did like a couple's cosplay while we were there. Cube dressed up as Toru, and I dressed up as Miss Kobayashi from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
No judgment, but gay.
Very.
Yeah, pretty fucking gay, honestly.
It is pretty fucking gay, but no judgment.
Hey, can't deny it was really fucking gay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I am judging, but the verdict is just it's very gay. So,
But yeah, so while we were together, we ended up getting like a lot of like pictures together, and I realized after I had to leave to do other stuff the second day that it was mostly because of Cube's cosplay. Everyone,
Well, that's not because you didn't do a good cosplay. That's just literally because like out of it, she dresses like a businesswoman. Like, who the fuck are you again?
yeah, Kobayashi is a more plain character, like in terms of character design. So,
Like made dress and horns is very easily recognizable.
yeah, we actually met up with a couple of other Toru and Kana cosplayers while we were there. So that was really fun. But yeah, Cube just loved cosplaying as Toru, and like they just had like the best time ever while we were there, and I'm so happy that they did. Just love that they did, and honestly, I think they look pretty good in it. But then again, I'm biased.
So
yeah, you are.
emphasis on bi.
So biased.
Biased.
So the guy who was cosplaying Springtrap.
Oh yeah, him.
Springtrap. So a couple of years ago, he was there as well as Springtrap, and I had kind of an interesting run-in with him. One of the back hallways, the sign-in room used to be down on the first floor in that big atrium, kind of near the grand stair.
Yeah.
There's that big like hallway or whatever between the grand stair and the food court. The sign-in used to be there, and there's a hallway that leads behind it. So because the only thing there was sign-in, by about 7 o'clock there was just no one in that area because everyone the year I went. And so that back hallway was completely vacant. So I stepped back there for a minute just to get some fresh air and to get away from people. And from the other end of the hallway, the Springtrap just stepped out and started staring at me. So I was alone in an empty hallway with a fucking Springtrap just staring me down. And I was like, oh, fuck no. And I left. I was like, oh, fuck no. That was a great experience. So I'm glad he came this year because that Springtrap play was fucking fantastic.
It was probably like one of the highest like production cosplays that we saw this year.
Yeah.
You and Isaac, we actually met a really, really cool Deadpool cosplayer.
Yeah, that guy had like movie quality outfit on. That was great.
I would not be surprised if that was actually Ryan Reynolds.
Did you guys see the movie quality Batman with the armor that was walking
No,
around?
I did not.
Oh no, we didn't see him.
I have pictures. I'll dump them in the picture share on the Discord server. But
It was also apropos because I bought the first volume. Apparently, it just came out, the first volume of Deadpool Samurai, and I read that in the hotel room. That was really funny.
Good stuff.
Looking forward to volume 2, and then that's it. Apparently it was canceled, so that's fun.
And he was the Batman was totally in character too, because I stepped outside with Jake's dad to have a smoke, and we sat at the tables and we're smoking and talking for a while, and I just turn around and behind me in this Batman, and I said, "Look at you, Batman, just hanging out in the shadows watching us," and he's like, "What I do best." Like, just absolutely like was in character the whole time. So
it's beautiful.
It was a good quality cosplay. Like I said, I'll post photos.
Reminds me of like the Michael Myers who was just standing behind that one pillar in the bar room.
Yeah.
There was
halfway there.
There was the one during the anime Hell, which I forget if you guys attended that. I know Cuba and I did.
No.
There were two Michael Myers. One was standing in the bar room behind the glass, staring at all of us in line for the main area, and there was another one on the other end of the room staring at us too. Like, Michael, this shit ain't cool, man. Come on, stop.
Everybody gonna die.
Well, Evil did not die tonight. I'll tell you that much.
Oh God.
He's the fastest power walker in all of history.
Yeah.
He just shambles everywhere, and somehow he outruns all speed. He always ends up there before you.
But yeah, another panel that I went to was actually another one of the ones that was done by a friend of mine, Yui Hagihara. She actually did 3 panels. She did, and I was only able to go to one. She did English dubs you've never heard of, which I actually heard of most of them, but
I heard of all of them.
Then again, I pay attention to Lost Media a lot, so like that is entirely the reason why I've heard of these.
Same.
So like, I understand that that was one of those panels that was meant for like the layman who's never actually heard of these things. So like, I get that. She did English dubs you've never heard of, Danganronpa for Dummies, which, God, I wish that first panel didn't suck so hard so I could actually go to the second one.
Yeah, they should have put that one first, honestly.
They really should have. Danganronpa for Dummies, and then there was like a One Piece as told by 4Kids panel later on.
Funny.
Which is just like a big like joke panel that they do.
Remember how 4Kids ended their run by killing everyone?
Canonically, yeah. Just
That
like the
was
big
fun.
ship coming down. It's like, well, that's the end of the 4Kids now. Bye.
Da 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 da. They're dead.
Jeez. But
Hands are clean.
We're not bitter.
it was an interesting episode for the 4Kids dub to leave off on, yeah. But meeting up with Yui was really fun. I actually got a ribbon for my Ohayocon badge that says Yui Senpai noticed me because they go by Yui Senpai online.
That's cute. Yeah, some of the people were doing nothing but going around and what I might do with Ohayocon next year. And you get ribbons for going. They're like these little, like 4-inch wide, 1-inch thick ribbons that have adhesive on them, so you can stick them onto your badges. And I ran into people at the convention who had gone. Some of them you'll get from dealers for buying certain things. Some of them you'll get going to certain panels or participating in gaming events, or it's like basically any activity that you do at the convention. You can just ask them for a ribbon and they'll give you a ribbon. And I saw people with ribbons like 6. I saw one guy laying it on the. It must have been 12 feet long. Of all the ribbons they collect. So there's people who do nothing but collect ribbons all weekend. As kind of like a little scavenger hunt game that they like to play. And honestly, I've been going to this convention for so long, it's kind of gotten a little stale for me. This year was one of the better years I actually went, again, because the panel quality was much higher, the cosplay quality was much higher than usual, and overall the weekend went very smoothly and the weather wasn't terrible. Well, I mean, icy everywhere, but other than that, for me, the weather wasn't bad because I remember the jacket. Side note, nobody else remembered to bring a fucking jacket in fucking February in the middle of Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, I was wearing 2 hoodies, so
yeah, you were wearing 2 hoodies, but like fucking nobody else was wearing jackets because you guys are fucking idiots. From Ohio weather. So I was perfectly comfortable all weekend. The weather wasn't that. But overall the convention weekend was much better than I remember. But next year, just to prevent it from being a complete stinker, I might try to do the ribbon hunt thing because that sounds like a fun activity.
Yes.
Kevin, I really appreciate how he mentioned the weather above our company.
No comment.
Respected.
No comment.
I don't know. Y'all were cutting up all weekend.
Yeah, well, we seem to click. We seem to click. Okay, we're both sarcastic bastards.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that were better than I was expecting, I was actually pretty impressed by the indie gaming showcase.
Yeah, we only went one day, but it was a good day.
Yeah, there were
fire alarm notwithstanding.
While I was playing one of the tabletop games that they had there, the fire alarm went off, and we had to go out like the back onto like a balcony, and it was so fucking annoying because that took like 10 minutes away from what I wanted to do, and like we had to leave right afterwards. But that just pissed me off. But but I managed to actually get some good time in talking to like a couple of game devs while I was there. And there were 2 games there, like video games, that really impressed me. One of them was a puzzle game called Collapsus, which they have an early access build that you can get on itch.io. And that is a really, really fun puzzle game. It's kind of like it's kind of similar to Panel de Pon or Tetris Attack or fucking Puzzle League, whatever you want to call it. And the gimmick of the game is that like the way that the blocks fall is different dependent on how your screen is oriented. The main way you could play the game at the convention center was on tablets. But they also have versions that they're developing for like PS4, Xbox One, and Switch and PC, where to flip the screen that you use you use the shoulder buttons.
Yeah.
And that was a really, really fun puzzle game. I was surprised at how quickly that clicked with me.
Yeah.
I actually have the early access build on my phone now, and I've been playing a little bit of that. That's a lot of fun. Really like Collapsus. And the other video game that they had there that I was really impressed by, that I was able to actually like get some time to talk with the dev about, was a game called Super Dungeon Designer.
Yeah, I got the pin.
Me too. I did too.
Yeah. More people should have pins.
Yeah,
let's just fucking Chewy this shit.
Yeah, talking to the dev of Super Dungeon Designer was really interesting because they told me it was based on the idea behind Super Mario Maker, but they wanted something similar, but with like classic Zelda dungeons. And the Link's Awakening remake has something that's a little bit like that, but it's mostly just shuffling existing dungeon rooms and like being able to quote unquote make your own dungeon by just shuffling a bunch of different rooms that you already have pre-designed. Super Dungeon Designer is literally a Zelda dungeon maker, but with all the Zelda stuff like filed off.
Yeah.
But I was super impressed with Super Dungeon Designer. That's also going to be an early access game. It's not available yet, but it does have a Steam page, which I wish listed that when I got back home. I was super, super impressed with that one. And another game, there was one more game that I checked out, and it was a tabletop game. It was called Dungeons and Dinos, and it's a card battler where like it's this like really cutesy card battler about like a bunch of like tiny dinos playing make-believe, and things like, you know, a spooky ghost is just like somebody underneath a bed sheet.
Yeah.
Your health potion is just a box of apple juice.
That's just how it works.
It's really cute. But the short game that I played a solo game with the game designer, and it's actually a really fun and surprisingly deeply designed card battler. I was really impressed. It's still pretty early in development. Half the cards did not have any artwork.
Yeah.
Which the dev said the artist wasn't able to get back to them about like any of the artwork before they were able to create a build for Ohayocon.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun talking with that dev, playing through a good match of like a solo match of Dungeons and Dinos. That's one I'm gonna keep an eye on because Sama, my sibling, they're gonna really want to check that one out. I feel like this is the kind of tabletop game Sama's gonna get a lot out of.
Yeah.
But like there were a few other games that were there. There was this one like blimp combat game that everybody was playing and I couldn't get a word in edgewise.
Not Icarus, I like to refer to it as.
Yeah, I believe that's called Azure Skies. But yeah, everyone was playing that, and everyone was talking to the devs about that, and I wasn't able to go over and do
sequel
anything.
to the classic PS1 RPG As Your Dreams.
I actually Googled Azure Skies, and Azure Dreams was the first thing that came up.
I weirdly had that as a kid.
Did you?
Yep.
Nice. But yeah, I was super impressed by the indie showcase. A lot of impressive stuff there.
I really wish I had remembered to go there the other days. We only went on Saturday.
Because come to think of it, we actually did have a lot of downtime, so we could have actually gone, but we didn't.
Oh well.
We're stupid.
There was too much food to eat.
To be fair, a lot of food that we ate.
Yeah, I was planning to just survive off of ramen for the whole trip, but after my experience of getting the runs at the Ramada with the shitty tap water, that kind of fell through, and I realized part of the joy of being on vacation is eating local food, so that's what I did.
Yeah, we went to Late Night Slice multiple times.
Technically, I only went there once. I went there the second time, but then they ran out of soda. I'm like, I'm not interested in this.
Yeah, I'm sad that I wasn't able to try out the black cherry soda that they had. Like,
Yeah.
I tried, but it was like by the time I got there, they had run out of carbonation, and it was just like flavored water.
Who runs out of carbonation?
I was basically just drinking slightly better LaCroix.
Sad, and it still cost you $3.
It still cost me $3, which pissed me off. But yeah. That said,
They should have at least given you a fucking no carbonation discount.
agreed. That said, Late Night Slice, really good pizza over there. The first night I was there, they had this chicken parmesan pizza. They didn't have it the rest of the day, like the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
But I had this chicken parmesan pizza, and damn, that was good. God, that was probably my favorite pizza that I had while I was there, and it sucked that I wasn't able to have it for the rest of the weekend because it was one of their weekly pizzas. Like, they switch it out every week. I do like the naming convention of, like, the various things that they had there. Plain-ass pepperoni and spicy-ass pepperoni, the difference being that the spicy-ass pepperoni had banana peppers on it. And my favorite is, they actually had this one, like, pizza sandwich, which is, like, 2 slices of pizza with American cheese melted in between, called the Cheese's Crust. And they had a smaller version of that was just like a pizza slice cut in half with the American cheese in between, called the baby cheeses.
Good stuff.
And also, the last time I went there, they actually played something on the TV that was like a restaurant themed edit of the Mega Man 2 opening.
Yep.
That was great.
There was a really good Philly cheesesteak place in the food court. There
was. I'm sad that I wasn't able to go there more consistently, but they had some really good Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah, they had weird hours. They were only open for a little bit.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that they had weird hours, it's that they ran out of shit to sell because everyone was going to them.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone was really going to the noodle place, but, you know,
yeah,
it was right next door.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, well, the line for the noodles is too long, so let's go get Philly cheesesteaks instead.
Yeah.
And they just ran out of Philly cheesesteaks.
That's what I did when I kept trying to go to that cafe, but the line was always too long, so like, fuck it, go to Subway. Subway routinely had the shortest line for some reason, despite being the most recognizable name there.
Yeah, but I think that's mostly just because everyone can have Subway whenever they want, and all of the other restaurants there were like more local specific restaurants.
I suppose.
And on top of that, Subway is also a fast food place, and they have built their brand on being fast food, so they probably were clearing their line faster than most of their locations.
That's true.
True, like
the longest, even with like 6 people in line, I think I waited 5 minutes to get my food.
Yeah.
But like, so they were cranking them out there, and they were definitely staffed for the weekend correctly.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you know, if I'd gone to the Philly cheesesteak place, which I've gone to before at previous years, I mean, I'm expecting 20 minutes minimum, and that's with only a handful of people in line.
Yeah, we managed to get there pretty early one day, and we only had to wait like 5-6 minutes to actually get our food.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Speaking of, across the street from the Columbus Convention Center in downtown Columbus, there's a place called the North Market. And in the North Market, they have an authentic Japanese-owned ramen, which was fan-fucking-tastic. I actually went there 3 times.
Yeah, I ended up having their mild tonkotsu ramen, and that was so goddamn good.
I did not go. If I go again, I'll have to go there.
You will absolutely have to go. It's a whole ass meal. You do have to pay a hefty price though. It's like $15. It's like $15 to $17 for a meal.
It's $15 for a bowl, but it's absolutely worth the money. The quality is worth it.
Yeah, the quality and the authenticity. It is Japanese owned. And all the guys there are trained very specifically to make this stuff a banger, absolutely bangerang every single time.
Something I like that they do there. Something I like that they do there is that they give you a bag, and it actually has the broth and the noodles and shit as like separate packages, and you have to like combine them yourself, which is really good for.
That's so you can take it home, and then you don't make it soggy as you're taking it home. The broth stays separate.
Yeah, I really like that. I do.
So that it's fresh when you want to eat it. Yeah, it's honestly a really good service, and I went there I think 3 times over the weekend because our party got split up pretty badly, but like everyone wanted to go to the fuck, I'll eat this 3 times a weekend. I don't care. But yeah, absolutely worth it. The North Market's an awesome place. If you've ever been to an old-fashioned farmers market with a bunch of little like local restaurants and stalls and delicatessens, like that's basically what the North Market is. It's claustrophobic as fuck. There's barely breathing room in between each of the stations, but it's just packed ceiling to floor with tons of interesting food. There's an Indian place there that's authentic Indian food, so if you want curry, you can get that, and then you'll spend the rest of the weekend shitting your organs out, but it'll be delicious. And then there's the ramen bar. There's a place that makes their own homemade ice cream, which is always better than anything you get in the store. And it's just a great place. There was a guy playing a guitar and singing inside, like for cash. It's a fun little experience and worth the trip. And then there was the Jewish deli we went to on the way into Columbus called Katzigers. And
Yeah, they took 45 minutes to make a hot dog. Yeah, I remember.
did they take? It wasn't that long. It was like 15 minutes we were in there. We couldn't have been in there longer than.
Yeah, no, I was just exaggerating, but it took a while.
Yeah, it does. It does. Well, they were also getting ready to. So
That's true. They probably didn't expect anyone to order a hot dog at the last minute.
right, but yeah, no, Katzigers was fantastic. I got a delicious Reuben and then apricot kugel, and if you've never had kugel, it's just literally it's cold. I had them warm it up. It's like if you just took apricot jelly, or an apricot like fruit paste, and then like mixed it in with like noodles. And that might sound freaking bizarre, but it's absolutely a delicious dessert. And thank God for Jews for making that one, because I love kugel. So, but yeah,
I have to apologize to the Jews, because I learned there when I was standing there looking at the menu that I don't like Jewish food very much. I think I told Kevin this, that like everything I was looking at had some kind of deal breaker for me, whether it was turkey or whether it was on rye. A lot of things are on rye, which I don't like rye bread. So that was an interesting experience.
They do make their own pickles there, though. Pickles are.
Yeah.
The pickle was good. Pickle was
good.
I did. Yeah. When I was over at Katzinger's, I ordered their grilled chicken sandwich, which I really liked that one. That was good.
I also had a cupcake. It was a good cupcake. Probably not worth $5, but it was a good cupcake.
Yeah. But yeah, weekend was overall pretty awesome. What did I get for merch? I didn't buy a figure this year. I usually buy a figure.
Yeah, I actually got.
Oh yeah, but by the way, shout out to the guy who got the Ruby Rose Nendo. Fuck you. So there's that.
Are you a Ruby fan?
Yes, I am.
My brother, my fucking brother. That show gets like so little respect, and I don't understand why. Maybe I do understand why, but I also don't understand.
Yeah, it's very overhated.
It's very overhated for really arbitrary and stupid reasons, I think.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just saw that they had Nendos of like all of Team Ruby except Ruby, and then you could see the vacant spot. I'm like, some motherfucker beat me to this.
I have a Ruby Rose Dr. Opera. She's a comfy team leader.
Yeah.
Also, those leggings. Anyway,
I prefer the ZR from the Mistral arc, but all of her outfits are good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So, like, speaking of Dakimakuras, I actually got one while I was at the convention. So I'm a big fan of this anime that aired like back in the mid to late 2000s called Birdie the Mighty Decode.
The other thing you and 6 people like.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that one I'll give you. That one I will give you. Birdie the Mighty is very underappreciated. Like, that one is just a fact. But,
Sure.
Funimation actually tried to push Birdie pretty hard back when they had the license to that. They don't anymore. They lost the license in 2016. But, while me and Cube were scouring the dealer's hall, I spotted a Dakimakura of Birdie in her Shion Arita form, which is like a civilian form that she uses as like she's like a model. And yeah, that was like $40, and I'm like, babe, could you please? Because I had like no money at that point. I did get a few other things aside from like the doujinshi that I got. Zeke tipped me off to this one, but I got All Hail Megatron at the comic book store that's built into the place.
Yeah.
And I actually have read like through like a good 1/3 of that particular story arc. Something I like about All Hail Megatron is that while it is part 2 to the like IDW Transformers storyline, it's designed as a jumping on point. So
Right.
while there is a lot of stuff that isn't necessarily explained up front, a lot of what goes on in the story you can kind of infer from context clues.
Are you telling me there's Transformers lore you don't know?
No, I understand the Transformers lore that came before this, because I do a lot of research on that shit.
Of course.
But yeah, All Hail Megatron is designed as a jumping on point. It literally begins with the Decepticons touching down in New York City and just killing everyone. Like, they just start making this massive terrorist attack across, like, New York, Washington, D.C., and, like, a bunch of these other, like, major places across the U.S.
Yeah. Just fucking Crisis 2 that shit.
It's actually really, really engaging. It's super cool. And, yeah, I'm probably going to read the rest of that over the weekend. Another thing that I got... Well, two other things that I got was actually I got a couple of figures. One of them is the Summer Rem figure from ReZero, which that particular figure was actually being sold at a completely different vendor for like $55. But I got it for about $30 from a completely different vendor because I bought it alongside a Nezuko figure.
Yeah.
Like little tiny baby Nezuko when she's like small.
Yeah.
Which the Nezuko figure is all right, but the Rem figure is like super nice for the price. Like I'm really happy with the Rem figure in particular.
Yeah.
Before we actually went to the convention, me and Cube actually hit up a used bookstore in Dayton called Bonnets called Bonnets.
Yeah.
And I actually got a few things from there. Before the convention, I got the old, long out of print Cutie Honey live action movie DVD. I got an issue of Transformers Regeneration 1, which is like a sequel to the old Marvel comics from the 80s. And I got the novelization for Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, which a lot of people consider to be better than the movie, and I already really like the movie, so...
Yeah.
I'm slowly reading through that. I will say it's definitely one of the more well-written novelizations that I've read. It actually changes some of the characterization for the better, I'd argue.
Yeah.
Namely in terms of Anakin being a lot more clearly conflicted about and making Obi-Wan and Anakin more like weary after everything that's happened during the war.
Yeah, I haven't read it since I was like 12, but I remember liking it.
Yeah, I'm liking it so far. It is a good novelization thus far.
I had all the novelizations, and then I had the Boba Fett books they put out at that time, which I remember liking. Those are the OG Book of Boba Fett's.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically what I got at Ohayocon. Not a whole lot, but what I did get was pretty cool.
Yeah. I got books.
Lots of books.
Yeah, so I went to... There were two different vendors I went to. One guy was selling mostly comics. I got Deadpool Samurai from him, and then I got Volume 1 of the Invader Zim comic. I wanted to get more, but he was like missing some of the middle ones, so I just didn't. And then I got the complete Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I have some individual issues of that, but I never had the complete book, but now I do. So that was cool. And then at the actual like big anime book publisher vendor at the back, the one where people were yelling about the 20% off discount. Yeah. I got a bunch of stuff from there. I got like 3 volumes of ReZero. I got some volumes of Excel World, but they are missing some of the ones in between, so I have to order the ones in between. I got Volume 1 of Black Bullet because I might do a video on Black Bullet at some point, even though it's incomplete. I know it's incomplete. Don't tell me it's not incomplete. I know it's incomplete. Yeah, I know, because I find the journey of Shinden Kanzuki, the self-proclaimed worst writer in the universe, or no, sorry, the most hated writer in the universe, the guy who got 7 volumes in and then just quit to open a restaurant, which I think failed. But yeah, I find him fascinating. I might do a video on him at some point. So I got that. I read a bit of. I read Deadpool Samurai at the hotel. I read a bit of ReZero at the hotel, and then I got the one Himiko Toga Funko Pop I actually wanted. There's a couple different ones, but I wanted the one with the mask on.
Yeah, you mentioned that like Funko, like the only really good Funko Pops are the ones with obscured faces or like non-human faces.
Yeah, there was a really good Alphonse Elric one. Like it was just a good rendering of the suit of armor. I didn't get that one, but yeah, I like Funko Pops when they have like masks or like the face. It's very. I think My Hero ones actually work pretty well for some reason. But I have like some that are like obscured. Like I have a Reaper one here and a Genji one, which is actually his Overwatch 2 design. And
Nice.
then I have.
You're gonna summon my girlfriend pretty soon if you don't stop talking about Overwatch.
I would love to talk more about Overwatch, but yeah, and then I have Himiko Toga and an Alika from Hunter x Hunter that I got at a Hot Topic a few months ago. So sometimes they work for me. Sometimes they work. I looked through all the other like figure vendors. I didn't really see anything I really wanted because the one guy took the fucking Ruby Rose first. I think it's just because a lot of the like the somewhat recent stuff that they're peddling at this point is just not stuff that I'm like super into. One of my like frustrations with the dealers hall was the fact that like a lot of the things I'm into always seem to skirt just under popular enough to be at these places. Which is frustrating. Like there was a severe lack of Fire Force, which I found disappointing.
Yeah, you managed to find like one Tamaki figure, but it was like $130
really
or something.
shocking because that show was really popular. But I will say there was an abundance of course Naruto. There was an abundance of Demon Slayer stuff.
Yeah.
And there was an abundance of throwbacks.
Quite a bit of Jujutsu Kaisen as well.
Yeah, what I didn't see a whole lot of was anything related to Bleach, anything related to Fire Force, which I thought was pretty damn popular. You'd think they would have had more merch for that.
Yeah, all I saw was that one figure, which I wasn't going to pay 150 for. Even at half that, it would have been a struggle because I'm just not a figure person. And a few scattered manga volumes, and that was kind of it. I didn't really see any cosplay. I heard some people talking about it. But I didn't see a whole lot of it. And the other thing I didn't see much of anything of was there was basically no Mushoku Tensei, not even at the book vendor. Although I think I discovered the reason for that, and when I went to write stuff last night, and I found out that like pretty much all the volumes have been out of stock for a while. So it could just be that they just couldn't get any books in. But even just in terms of cosplay and stuff, I didn't see like any Mushoku Tensei, which was really shocking to me.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a situation where like it's just like too recent for nobody to cosplay it, because I saw some people cosplaying characters from like games and anime that came out like a season or two ago.
Yeah. It might just be like a normie filter thing. I don't know.
It might be.
Or just the difference between like Reddit popularity and real life popularity. I don't know.
Yeah, like a good example is I found at least 2 different cosplayers who were doing Akari, the female protagonist of Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
I ran into her at North Market. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like she was fun to talk to. She's an absolute sweetheart, and she actually showed me her Pokeball prop, and she showed me that like the cap on the top of it was actually like a painted over bottle cap. So like it was definitely a cosplay that she built herself, and it was really good. It was a really well done cosplay. I loved it. But yeah,
what's really frustrating is I feel like if this con allowed fan art, there would have been way more Danganronpa stuff to be interested in.
Yeah.
Especially since Spike is really bad with V3 merch in particular.
I did see some Danganronpa Dojinshi at Handane, but it was...
I saw some of the fucking shitty manga volumes and I was just like, I don't want these.
Yeah, all the stuff at Handane was like fucking Shuichi and Oma stuff.
Mhm. Of course.
like they're like all of the stuff for Danganronpa at Handane was just like all the yaoi doujinshis and like nothing else.
Well, we need Kevin. I keep saying this. You need to understand Danganronpa is actually a Fujoshi series. I'm
It
sorry
is.
you had to find out.
No.
I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I'm sorry. You have to keep learning this lesson. But yeah.
Mein Gott.
Yep.
I'm talking
Nope.
to Fujoshis.
Nope.
Serodin
Secret
has
Fujoshi series.
Serodin has left the fucking chat. I'm out. Eject.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Pulls the handle between my seats. Bye.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us.
No, stick around. We still got one more segment.
Yeah. But yeah, overall I had a pretty fun time though. Hanging out with the boys and whatnot.
Yeah, hanging out with you was actually a lot of fun. Like, it basically just ended up being an extension of what we normally do over voice chat anyway, so...
Yeah, we shook hands. I expect you to never wash it again.
God, fucking... One morning I said was like, yeah, everyone else over here is asleep, and I've barely had any of my coffee, so I'm pretty tired, and you're like... It's like, I'm gonna smack you awake, and you literally walked in, smacked me in the face, was like, wake up.
Yeah, well, I did warn you.
You did, I was prepared.
Yeah, braced for impact, as it were.
Wake up.
Yeah, but yeah, I had a good time. We'll probably go again at some point.
Oh, fuck yeah. Had a great time. Love to do this again.
Yep.
Hopefully next time it won't be as much of a goddamn clusterfuck to get there.
Hopefully next time.
With the clusterfuck, I just showed up. Fuck, it was easy as shit for me.
Well, isn't that special?
Yeah, Kevin, idiot, doesn't
Shut
know what
up.
he's talking about. It was easy for Serodin, therefore.
Oh, it was easy for me.
Yeah.
Try having your life together, man. Come on, get it together.
Yeah, man.
I like to think I have my life together, but every now and then I'm reminded that I don't.
You don't even simp for VTubers, man. How can you say your life is together when you don't even simp for VTubers? Be more like Serodin.
Bitch!
I can no longer be on board with this conversation.
Bitch, didn't I have to simp for you? I did simp for you.
Yes.
You simped enough for all of us combined, which I didn't
Shut up.
appreciate, by the way. I feel violated. I did not consent to this simping.
I found an endless font of endorphins, and fuck it, it's better than playing Halo Infinite these days, so yeah.
I mean, the drama that unfolded was the best television I've seen in a while.
I mean, absolutely. Like, that's, see, like I said, consistent, valuable entertainment while the industry is trying to get itself back up on 2 feet, man.
Yeah, just what is happening to other people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
sorry you didn't get mocked for your lack of lettuce on your sandwiches that you spent a month.
I would have been proud. I don't like lettuce. I would have been proud to not have lettuce on my sandwich.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people calling her a dumbass for that.
Vindication. See? You're getting some vindication. If only you cared about their opinions.
But I do care about their opinions, though. I appreciate the clout. Anyway.
I appreciate the clouds.
We all appreciate the clout. Kevin, I want you to know that someone subscribed to me recently named Bearded Shuckle. I don't know who they are or what they do, but that's a great name.
I like it.
Yep. And Bearded Shuckle and everyone else can stay tuned after the break for the next segment. Welcome back to the bakagaijinshow. It's time for the Reddit dive.
Yeah, baby.
Yep. Let's start off with this. Yep. Kevin, let's start off with classic Aita. Most of these are Aitas as usual because it's just a very, very active subreddit.
My favorite.
Am I the asshole for hiding behind the couch so my sister wouldn't hand her screaming baby to me? Throwaway because my sister's on Reddit. First of all, a female Redditor. That's an oxymoron if I've ever heard one.
Imagine.
This person is 14F. Their sister, quote-unquote Della, 19F, is in college. She took her second semester off because she recently had a baby. Roxy, 0F. I really like how they included that. Thank you. I know how old a baby is. Which is to say not much. She knows who the father is, but they are not in a relationship. Della came back home for the semester break to make it easier for her. Roxy has these meltdowns, I don't have a better word, when she's cranky, tired, or just screaming her head off. That sounds like normal baby things.
That's called being a baby.
Yeah. Kind of irresponsible, honestly. When I sing a certain song to her by a pop band I love, she calms down. I have to sing it for an hour or more. I'm not a good singer, but she likes it anyway. It also works when she's just normal fussy crying. Della always hands Roxy to me when she cries, especially during her meltdowns. Della and I had an argument a week ago about the stupidest thing. She wanted me to stop singing a song under my breath while I was making myself a snack, and I said she can't control me. I hope they snapped at the same time, like, you can't control me. It wasn't about the noise.
Snap my fingers in a Z.
Yeah. It wasn't about the noise. It was about her thinking that I'm a terrible singer and not wanting to be, quote, subjected to that god-awful noise. She told me that I was a selfish, lazy asshole who doesn't care about anyone but herself, and I said that, fine, since my singing is so bad, I wouldn't calm Roxy with it. She said, fine. On Thursday, when I got home from school, my parents were working, and Roxy was having one of her meltdowns. Della tried to hand me Roxy. I said, no, my singing is crap, and I don't want to subject anyone to it, and walked away. Then I hid behind the couch so she wouldn't be able to force me into helping with Roxy. Della thought I'd gone to a friend's and didn't look for me for a while until she decided to call me to see where I'd be home. She heard the phone ring and was furious that I didn't come out to help her. My parents are telling me it was super immature to hide. Della is a stressed, sleep-deprived teenager, and she needed me, and I wasn't there for her, and now I don't know. They want me to apologize, and I don't want to, but maybe I was just being petty and Della was just tired.
No.
Not the asshole.
You're not the asshole, OP. You're... God. Sibling, right? Sister?
Yes. Yeah.
Your sister is not prepared for the stresses of being a parent, and it's abundantly clear that she is just trying to push off a lot of this on you, and she's taking out her frustrations on you.
Yeah, just to make it clear, you are 14, and this is not your baby.
Yep. You are under no obligation to do anything for your sister at this point. And the fact that your sister decided to make such a big deal over the singing thing, and that ended up backfiring on her and biting her in the ass later, that's on her, not you.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty cut and dry, not the asshole.
Anything to add, Serodin?
I think the baby would have a different opinion of you if it could think. Because Anthony's crying and just wants to be loved. And you're not giving it love. So from the baby's perspective, you're a fucking dick. But I can't call you a dick overall because somebody better stick it to your fucking sister.
Yeah.
So,
this is biting the hand that feeds you.
Right. So from the baby's perspective, you're a dick. Try to be nice to the baby. It's not its fault. Its mom's a retard.
Yeah.
But sorry, I know problematic language. Sorry.
We say that shit all the time.
This is the Baka Gaijin show.
My name is Serodin. I'm an ass.
That's what we like here.
Good. So, but yeah. Yeah. So just depends on the perspective. But as long as you're not letting the baby starve or anything, you're not the asshole. You're not the asshole.
Anyway, Kevin, I sent you one.
All right. So, am I the asshole that I won't rent to my nephew? Posted by I Feel Fat, Bro.
Bro, have some confidence in yourself.
I love looking at like the screen names because it always adds an extra layer to it.
Well, 90% of the time they're throwaways, so it's always random garbage.
I bought a home when I was out of college. It's a 3-bedroom home. For the last 20 years, I have rented the rooms to young professional and interns near a tech hub. My nephew Jack is in his 30s. It's supposed to say 30s. And bounced...
Maybe they meant his 30th year alive, so he is 30.
And bounced around from job to job. My mother and my sister, his mother, wanted me to rent it to him at a discount because he wants to move to the area.
Rent control.
I already have 2 tenants, both around 22. Both are women. Jack has had issues with dating and with women. Reddit would put him as a neckbeard.
One of us.
I don't want him to rent from me or be around my other tenants. Jack argues about the most ridiculous things. He has the mentality of a 15-year-old boy and would not even fit in with the atmosphere of the house. I don't want him there. He was evicted from his last place and his credit is I told my mom and sister this, and they have yelled at me about how he's family and maybe this time he will find a place where he fits in. I put my foot down and said no. I will rent out the vacant room to someone else. My whole family's against me now. I don't want Jack living in my house. I know he's going to be an issue. It's going to be tough for him because he doesn't have a degree and it's in an area that most jobs there require one. My mom, his grandma, keeps saying that I should give him a chance. It's misspelled. But in giving him a chance, it may be hard for me to move him out, especially since he's already been through the eviction process once. You're not the asshole here, OP. They're trying to force this shit on you, and you've already seen that this guy is not going to be a good tenant for you and is already going to cause problems. You're avoiding a situation that these people are trying to force you into.
Yeah, I'm all for giving people chances, and in this case, I'm just like, do it or don't, but I can't call you an asshole for not wanting to.
You're not the asshole.
Yeah. Top comment says everything. I don't want him to rent from me or be around my other tenants. Enough reason right there. Not the asshole.
Yeah.
Also, an eviction offense? Hold him to the same standards you would for normal tenants. Secure your investment. You know he won't leave without a fight already.
Yeah. So, yeah, not the asshole. All right. Am I the asshole for taking my kids to the beach alone instead of waiting for my husband? My husband is the type of person who doesn't ever switch off from work life, even while we're on vacation. It can be incredibly frustrating, but I've given up on trying to get him to change. During our vacation, we were going to take the kids to the beach, but my husband received an important work call from his brother just before we were supposed to leave. He told me it wouldn't take longer than 5 minutes, but after waiting for over 30 minutes with a 6-year-old who kept complaining about when we were going to leave, I decided to just take the kids down to the beach myself, as it was only a 15-minute walk. I would have told him we were leaving, but he had gone into the other room and closed the door, which is his way of telling me he doesn't want to be disturbed. Instead, I sent him a text that we would see him at the beach. He texted me back telling me to wait for another 5 minutes later, but I didn't see it until we got to the beach, so when he got to the beach, he was upset with me. He said I should have waited for him since we had the whole day to spend at the beach and he wanted to see the kids' faces when they first got here. Am I the asshole for going without him?
I would argue no, because the problem here is that your husband's a massive workaholic. And
I really like top comment. He wanted to see the kids' faces when they first got there. Nice attempt at guilt tripping there, but no.
Yeah, no. You're being a workaholic and you're putting your work before your family, and that's never, ever, ever a good idea.
Well, my stance is also your poor communication. If you had said give me 5 minutes, you should have said that before going into the.
Yeah.
Yeah, know yourself enough to give other people the courtesy of knowing you too.
Yeah, I think OP did all the communicating that she could in this situation.
Yeah, this is entirely on the husband here, not the asshole.
Yeah, not the asshole.
And besides, the kids were getting antsy. Like they were from the kids' perspective, they were waiting just because Daddy has to do a thing that he could do any other time.
Yeah. All right, I'm sending you one.
Oh no. Am I the asshole for refusing to give in to a Disney adult?
Automatic no.
We don't have to read this.
Disney cultists are the literal fucking worst.
Let's see how bad it gets, though.
Let's find out how, though.
They are subhuman. Anyway, what?
My niece just turned 5 and we got her a Magic Mixie. My sister, Elsa, has a strict Disney toy-only policy and literally gives us lists of acceptable Disney-only toy... Yeah, nope.
These people exist.
I had to get all of, 1.5 sentences in to know that OP isn't the asshole. God damn it. Has a strict... Also, she calls herself Elsa?
No, I'm pretty sure that's just like a pseudonym for the post.
Elsa has a strict Disney toy-only policy and literally gives us lists of acceptable Disney-only toys, but that's not what my niece wanted. She's been obsessed with getting a Magic Mixie since her friend got one. My brother-in-law doesn't care and gets her other stuff all the time. I texted him, and he said it was okay to not stick to the list since the grandparents got her stuff that wasn't Disney-related. He said that he wants his niece to branch out more and to ignore the list. Elsa is a Disney adult, like, all emboldened.
Yep.
Everything has to be Disney-related. Before my niece was born, Elsa sent out a Facebook post and a family-wide email that anything without a Disney character on it, toys, clothes, bedding, furniture, anything, would get thrown out. Not donated, thrown out. We've never actually sent my niece a gift at all because we knew Elsa would throw it away. Disney is her aesthetic, and she'll throw things away in front of the people who gift them to her if they're not plastered with cartoon characters. At her birthday party, niece opened the Magic Mixie and went bananas. Elsa didn't say anything other than a neutral "how cute," and then moved on to something else. After the party was over, Elsa went apeshit and said it's my fault she has to throw her kid's toy away. Apparently, she and brother-in-law got into a big fight when she tried to throw it out during the party. She also tried to give it to several of the parents at the party. The moms from her mom group called her insensitive that she tried to get rid of a toy her kid was so excited about and asked if she was going to do that with their gifts. My mom called me later and said I was a huge asshole for not sticking to what Elsa wanted and making her anxious about the presents because I guess after the party her mom group friends weird wording
Big difference.
got pissed at her when they found out she throws gifts away so that she and niece are uninvited from a lot of spring activities. Am I the asshole for not giving in to a Disney adult and getting the kid the toy they actually wanted? The Disney adult needs to go to therapy.
This is psychotic, actually.
Top comment, not the asshole. Elsa needs to let it go.
Perfect.
Oh my god.
I don't...
Yeah, you had me at this is a Disney. Yeah, They don't deserve anything.
Not to mention she's deliberately making her child's life miserable just because everything has to be Disney. Like, what the fuck, lady? Don't have children!
This person is an advanced consumer.
This isn't your average everyday consumer. This is an advanced consumer.
Advanced consumer. Yep.
Not the asshole. Does Disney have a psychiatrist character that Elsa would be willing to speak with? Oh, man.
Right. Yeah, very clear, not the asshole.
I think that's pretty obvious, yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus
this woman
Christ.
is psychotic.
I had, like, the title alone said everything I needed to know, but man, what a journey.
Am I the asshole for not buying lunch for the people that helped me move? I've been in a bit of a bad place financially for a while now, living in a crappy apartment, paycheck to paycheck. I'm still not doing much better, but I got a job in a cheaper city, in a decent apartment. The city's also closer to my friends and family. When I announced I was moving closer, my friends got super excited, and I asked if 3 of them would be willing to help me move in, and they agreed. Again, I'm not doing my best financially, and they know that, so I assumed they were okay with this as a free gig. I admit maybe I was wrong for not saying this, though. It wasn't a lot to move in. It's a loft apartment. I'm sleeping on a futon, but it took a couple of hours. When we were done, everyone said they were starving. My friend suggested we hit up a local burger place. I knew I could afford something from there, so I agreed. We went, ordered, and we're having a good time. When the bill came, it was passed my way, and I got confused. A friend said, "You got this, right?" I was so confused. Another gave me a look and said, "We helped you move. Customary, you pick up lunch." I was a little flabbergasted and said there was no way I could afford this. I could pay for my meal. I got a standard burger and Coke. They had gotten deluxe burgers plus plus beers, but not theirs. All got pretty quiet until one finally said they'd pay for it. Everyone could Venmo their share, so I did that. I invited everyone back to watch something on TV, and they all declined. In the weeks since, I've tried to invite them to do things, but never got much response. I also noticed I'm not invited anywhere. I work with one of my friends, and he accidentally mentioned a Super Bowl party, and I was like, I'd invite you, but I think everyone is still pretty upset. I asked why. He said it's because I just assumed they'd help me move without compensating them in any way. Am I the asshole?
This just seems like really bad communication on everybody's part, and
yeah,
like,
I'm kind of going with everyone sucks here because they're holding a grudge over this like weeks later.
Yeah, this is just.
Like, yes, you should have communicated this, absolutely, but holding a grudge over this for weeks is very childish.
Yeah, it's just as bad, really.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with everyone sucks here.
Yeah, I agree.
But Reddit voted you're the asshole. Moving takes time and effort. Never assumed someone would do that for free. You should have made it known. I can't compensate you, but I'd really appreciate the help. Well, yeah, but like, I don't know, man. The way they're acting in response is just not worthy of not asshole status.
I agree. Like, they're taking it way too far. And even OP mentioned very clearly it was not a huge job and everything was done in like 2 hours. So,
yeah.
Like, I just think OP's friends are just being dicks for not really a very justifiable reason.
Yeah.
Like, you can be kind of, like, irritated for a couple of days, and I can get that, but holding a grudge for weeks at a time and being like, no, we don't want to speak with you because we're upset about the burger joint. That's stupid. Talk to each other. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It just seems like bad communication and bad beats all around, and y'all need to be locked in a room with each other and figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is something that's very common in a lot of these Ida stories, is that no one communicates well. It's a common thread.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna send you this one.
Am I the asshole for implying that my boyfriend is cheap because of the V-Day gift he got me? I, female 31, have been with my boyfriend, male 37, who is a single dad with 2 boys, for 2 years. He has a decent job with decent income and is into woodworking as a hobby. You have married Ron Swanson.
It is a burger on a bun. You may add ketchup. I do not care.
For V-Days, B-Days, and every other celebration, he'd gift me mostly jewelry, and I'd get him his favorite gadgets or sports gear. For this Valentine, I got him sneakers. I found out today that his gift for me was a wooden framed photo of him, me, and the kids. Oh, that's sweet.
That's fucking adorable.
I gotta say I wasn't thrilled with it. Fuck you. When I told my boyfriend my honest opinion, he didn't want to open my mouth. I didn't want to open my mouth, but he pushed me.
Yeah.
He said he couldn't believe this was my reaction, but I pointed out that he has money for a $200 necklace at least, so I could wear it at the engagement party. But he said I was out of line to imply he was being cheap when all he was doing was to make me a special gift, and also had the kids help with it and put so much thought and effort in because they see me as family and I should be appreciative of that. I said I was, but still thought he could have added the necklace as a great combo. God, you're petty. But he got even more mad, saying he couldn't understand why I'd value a necklace as much as or even over a special gift he and the kids made for me. We went back and forth on this and breakfast got ruined. He went upstairs and refused to speak to me. I feel like he blew this out of proportion since he asked for my opinion, and I don't know if he has the right to be upset with me now. Am I the asshole? Yes.
He asked for your opinion, but your opinion is shit, so, you know.
Yeah, so do you know how many people get like a box of fucking prepackaged $2 chocolates and a fucking $2 teddy bear for Valentine's Day? This motherfucker's been buying you jewelry, and 1 year, and he said, let's change it up a bit. Let me make you something.
Yeah.
Like, he made you something, and it was about family. He may not have spent money, but he spent time. It takes 30 minutes to go buy a necklace, honey. It takes hours to build a wooden frame, especially when you have kids involved. He gave his sweat. He gave it in sweat equity. Okay?
Yeah.
Dude loves you, and you treated him like dog shit because he didn't shill out his fucking wallet. Go fuck yourself. You're an asshole. And a bitch.
Yep.
Anyway.
I love top comment. So you don't have enough jewelry yet? How many necks do you have? Plot twist, OP is a giraffe.
Yeah, second comment. You're the asshole. I'm assuming he made the frame, which takes a lot of time and effort. Every minute of the project he would be thinking of you. Then he found a photo of him and his kids and you. He's literally presenting you with an image of you as part of his family, and you're complaining as it's not worth a lot. Do you know the minimum value of the wood? Then add that to his time. Entitled much?
Yeah, no, honey, you're just a materialistic. You're a soulless materialistic.
Bitch.
I'm not going to finish that sentence. Yeah, I don't want to say any more because I've already been mean. But you are a soulless materialistic idiot, and you don't have the stones to be with a guy that wonderful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, jeez. That's just
Time
sad.
spent is more valuable. Time spent is more valuable than more valuable than any amount of money spent.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Agreed.
you can't appreciate that, then you're not ready to be in a relationship.
Yeah. All right. I am going to read a tale of nuclear revenge.
Woohoo! These are fun. Haven't had one of these in a while.
This one titled, My School Wouldn't Protect Me from Harassment, Bullying, and Threats of Death and Rape of My Family. I didn't intend for all this to happen, honestly.
Is this story about me? Jesus Christ.
This
As the
was
antagonist.
This was 2006. I was 14-ish. I knew a little about computers. I knew the IT team at my senior high school, and it was a two-man group whom were inept, honestly. This goes past making a batch file and placing it in someone else's shared folder that shut down their PC called killertits.bat or some other name I thought would get kids to click it. This was me being dumb, and I brought the whole system down. I had been bullied relentlessly, with a few giving full-on murder threats against my family and raping my mother. The school didn't think it was a big deal, the bullying nor the threats. One day, I decided to look at the privileges given to each person. This was Window XP days, so there was, guest, teacher, student, administrator, but something was wrong. Every single student had access to full privileges. I tested this theory by going into the teacher's shared folder and deleting a file. Then I went in to erase most of the shared server files, finding a backup of the various servers run and deleting them, and finally a plain text document with passwords and user information. I logged in with one of the IT members' names and password, changed every privilege to disabled for all accounts other than admin, and deleted the other admin's account. I was now god of the school computers. I used the FTP software we used to log into the school's main web server that housed the web page and student web pages. Once more in the document that had the address and password, and deleted most things, but kept the main HTML still up, albeit edited to have gay furry porn instead of the mascot logo. My 64 megabit thumbstick had trolling shit and also Final Fantasy VI. I deleted more stuff, deleted a few key files from some shared programs, the stuff that loaded from the server and is shared for students to use, all in about 40 to 50 minutes. I made one final account, Chuck Norris, it was a timely reference back then, and deleted the final admin account. It took about a month for computer classes to resume. Attendance was taken via paper, students couldn't check grades online, anything related to computers in classes was omitted or changed to study hall. The two IT people were fired, and they brought in actual experts to fully test everything. They had no off-site backups, or even extra backups of the needed files. I left school a year later because of bullying, and honestly, it was fantastic. Sorry I did it, but it was a comedy of errors. I wanted to do IT, but then I remember this. I still might go back to school for it.
That's just funny.
Mm-hmm.
I love the part where he changes all the images of the mascot to furry porn.
It's a gay furry porn, nonetheless.
Excellent.
Excellent revenge. 10 out of 10 would do again.
I fucking love it.
Yep.
It's just, I am god of the school computers.
Some people have terrible IT work.
Alright.
Kevin, I'm sending you one.
Am I the asshole for asking my friend to move out when she told me to put a shirt on? Bit of a funny situation here, but frustrating nevertheless. For a bit of context, I, 24 female, grew up in a household where nudity was never really seen as that big of a deal. I saw both the men and the women in my family walk around shirtless sometimes. And if you happened to walk in while someone was changing their clothes or showering, you just say sorry and move on with your life. Oh, like normal fucking people. Nudity was never seen as something embarrassing or taboo in my family, nor was it ever sexualized, and I guess I grew to view it the same way, as I don't think there's anything weird or shameful about looking at a human body. Now, I live in a small apartment in the city, and about a week ago I agreed to let a good friend of mine, 23 female, stay with me for a while. She's in her last year of university, but recently got kicked out of her university's dorms. And since the rent prices in our city are pretty ridiculous, living with me was her best option. The thing is, I sleep without a shirt on at night, and when I get up in the morning and go to the kitchen to make breakfast, I don't usually bother to put a shirt on. I pretty much walk around the house naked from the waist up for about 30 minutes while I go through my morning routine, brush my teeth, feed the dog, eat breakfast, etc. I do eventually put a shirt on when I start getting ready to go out, but there's still 30 minutes or so of boobs every morning, and this bothers my friend a lot. She's always nagging me to put a shirt on or a bra on, and says it weirds her out how I can just walk around naked where she can see me. I explained the whole situation to her and assured her that there's really nothing sexual or strange about it. It's just what I'm used to and how I feel the most comfortable. She kept insisting though, and today I jokingly told her that if she doesn't like it, she can just move out. I made it clear that I don't actually intend to kick her out, but I guess she still got really upset by that comment since she hasn't said a word to me since this morning. That was bad form, Opie. Am I the asshole? I know it's a bit petty, but it's also my apartment. How are you going to live in someone's apartment, rent-free, and complain about something as stupid as them not putting a shirt on when you want them to? I would say this is a really, really, really mild case of you're the asshole. Mostly just because I think you handled it a bit poorly.
You handled it aggressively, but on the other hand, who doesn't love titties? Would you ever want to bunk with somebody who doesn't love titties?
Yeah, I mean, the other person just has shit
woman I've
taste,
ever met-
honestly.
Every woman I've ever met loves titties. If you don't love titties, there's something wrong with you. Okay? And I don't want you anywhere near my fucking house. if you don't
Titties
love
is like
titties.
the universal agreed upon good thing in the universe.
They are great pillows. They're fun to play with. Like, come on. Who doesn't love titties?
Excellent race car tracks.
Yeah, they are.
No.
Oh my god, I've seen
I
that
think-
image.
Yeah, I think top comment has it pretty well figured if you want to read that.
Yeah. Soft, you're the asshole. I say this as a massive feminist and someone comfortable with nudity, but you are forcing nudity on her without her consent. Yes, you are doing her a massive favor, but did you pre-warn her that a condition of that generosity was daily nudity? That's a good point. She should have prefaced that better. I have a best friend who is very uncomfortable with bare breasts and several who aren't. I don't force her to see my naked breasts because I love and respect her and want her to be comfortable. My covering up doesn't make me uncomfortable and inconvenience me. I just make sure I've got my bra on or top on by the time she comes over, or make sure I change it in a different room when we travel together. It's a very small change that doesn't hurt me, but it means a lot to my friends. It's your house and your hill to die on, however. Is it really worth making a friend homeless because you don't want to chuck a t-shirt on for a friend? I know Reddit absolutely loves a black or white, my way or the highway, my house, my rules situation, but I'm an old lady and I just don't see the point in ruining a friendship for a small compromise. Do you have to? No. Could you, to be kind and accepting to someone who is meant to mean something to you? Yes.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it all up. So very soft, you're the asshole.
Yeah, it's just could have handled that a hell of a lot better than you did. Put a shirt on.
I just don't think it's a hill worth dying on.
Me neither. I mean, yeah, I totally get the whole, being comfortable with nudity thing. It's like, it's not a big deal where I come from. But at the same time, you gotta understand some people do have different ideals about that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
nudity is acceptable under certain circumstances. And yeah, I can kind of get that. Some people grow up in more prudish households, and that's just a thing that happens. Some people aren't as, free and understanding about that kind of thing, and don't really view it as kind of a neutral thing like a lot of other people do. It is entirely dependent on the person. So, yeah, I think this is kind of a silly hill to die on. Although, personally, I wouldn't fucking mind, but then again, I like boobs.
Yeah. All right. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend it's weird she wants to name our son after her dead ex-boyfriend? My 31M's girlfriend 30F ex-boyfriend passed away 7 years ago from sickle cell disease. They shared a son together who's 9 years old. I adore him and look after him like he's my own. As for us, we began dating 3 years ago and everything has been going really great. She's currently 6 months pregnant and we're having a boy. We're both really excited, but there's tension between us because she suggested we name our son after her ex-boyfriend, which I instantly said no, that's definitely not happening. She then asked if it could be his middle name because it would mean a lot to her. I told her it's extremely weird because our kid has absolutely no relation to our ex-boyfriend, and it's kind of offensive to me to have our son named after a dead guy she used to date. She got all shitty with me and said I was disrespectful and wasn't taking her feelings into consideration, blah, blah, blah. And then, I didn't add that, he wrote that. And then told me to remember, quote, that dead guy she used to date is the real father of her son. I don't think it's fair to rub that in my face, so now we're both pissed off with each other. I genuinely think it was out of line for her to even ask me to not to mention inappropriate, am I the asshole?
I don't feel like OP's the asshole here. That's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, it just what it indicates to me is that his significant other has not moved on.
Yeah.
And she has a lot of baggage and a lot of trauma that she still needs to deal with, and she is handling it in a very unhealthy way.
Yeah.
And I don't think it is on OP here for saying that that's weird, because it absolutely is. By now, it's been 7 years. She should have been over this by now, and she should have moved on, and she clearly hasn't. This is something that she needs therapy for, and she really shouldn't be pushing this on OP, not the asshole.
Reddit is getting really hung up on his wording when he says things like that dead guy she used to date, or when he goes blah 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 in his posts.
Of course they are.
Which I'm like, yeah, I get that, but also, first of all, the verdict was not the asshole though, so it didn't really affect the verdict. Yeah. I'm just noticing that further down that they're getting kind of hung up on his quote condescending dismissal, and I'm just like, yeah, but like it's a weird thing to ask, and it's been 7 years. I feel like she should be at a point where that isn't the most offensive thing to her anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna say not the asshole.
Anything to add, Serodin?
Nope, I'm in agreement there.
All right.
Yep. I don't think you're the asshole.
Yes. Let me see which one of these. Kevin.
Yes.
Sorry, my copy and paste wasn't working. This one.
Okay. Am I the asshole for asking that my daughter not share a room with a special needs kid? Oh no.
This could get complicated.
This could get very messy very fast. I, 35 female, have 4 kids. 10 female, 6 male, 4 female, and 1 female.
I like how the way that's written makes it sound like she has way more than 4 kids.
Our eldest, Izzy, is 10. She is a doll. My son, Luke, has autism and ADHD, and while lovable, can be a bit of a handful at times. Therefore, Izzy is witness to both the fun and not-so-fun parts of neurodiversity, and has developed a saintly patience and a knack for helping special needs kids with a sense of maturity beyond her years. Good for her. Mm-hmm. Hold on. Jeez, sorry. Mild heartburn. Particularly notable is her kindness with Maisie, a girl in her class with autism and severe anxiety, which has worsened as a result of the tumult of the last few years. You know, COVID.
Sure.
Izzy's help to Maisie has been brought to my attention before, and I am a super proud mama. Next weekend, school are taking my daughter's class on a trip, and on Thursday, Izzy's teacher asked to be in a room with Maisie, saying it would make Maisie happy. Maisie has intense separation anxiety and has never been away from home before, but framing it as a choice. Always obedient and wanting to do good by her teachers, Izzy agreed but came home crying, saying she didn't want to be with Maisie because she wanted a break from having to be stressed so much others can be happy. Oh, God. Girl, I understand! Mm-hmm. Mood! This made my heart break, and I know more than anything that my daughter... And I know more than anyone that my daughter deserves a chance to be a kid, as in all the lockdowns, she didn't have her usual outlets or sports clubs, and had to spend a lot of time with cranky Luke, whose routine had been destroyed, and a toddler who was very excited to have her big sis at home. While my husband and I always tried to do one-on-one activities, it admittedly got harder once his furlough ended, and I unexpectedly got pregnant with our youngest. Unexpectedly.
Yeah, it happens. Accidents happen.
Luke also found the baby difficult sensory-wise, so whichever parent wasn't tending to the baby often had to be elsewhere with Luke, meaning not as much attention was on Izzy as we would have liked. I feel so bad that my daughter has had a rough ride, and frankly want to give her a chance to be a little girl instead of an adult. I contacted her teacher, who was aware of the situation with Luke, who agreed that letting Izzy have a break would be a good thing. Today the school spoke to Maisie's mom, informing her of Maisie's room on the trip. I know the girls in the room, and they are lovely, but she was clearly unhappy. She asked me to ask Izzy again. When I said that it was her choice and I have to respect it, she sent a trade on how I was bringing Izzy up to
I think she meant tirade.
Tirade, yeah. On how I was bringing up Izzy to be intolerant, how Maisie will feel that Izzy has abandoned her, and how I would feel if it was my son. She is now considering pulling Maisie out of the trip as she feels she would not cope with her separation anxiety without Izzy.
Sidebar, that's a good idea.
That is actually a really good idea. You actually made the correct choice.
Anyway.
Unintentionally.
Yeah.
My husband thinks that it is the school and Maisie's mom's job, not Izzy. Oh, by the way, they're British. To accommodate her, but her comments are ringing in my head. After all, I am not just Izzy's mom, but also Luke's, and as much as I worry about her missing out, I worry about him being isolated too. I know exactly how Maisie's mom feels and how much it sucks, yet I am not doing the one thing to alleviate her pain. Am I the asshole? No, you're...
I think there's no assholes here.
I don't think there's any assholes here, and Maisie's just having a really hard time. Her parents don't know how to deal with it, and I totally understand that. And Izzy just wants to have a chance to be a kid and not have to deal with all of the stress and anxiety that she's constantly have to be put under due to the situations that she's been forced in due to fucking society at large. Mm-hmm. And for the love of God, you're just looking out for your kid and what's in their best interest. You heard your kid, crying, and listened to them, and they told you, I don't want to share a room with Maisie because I don't want to deal with all this stress anymore. I want to be a kid. Yeah. And that's totally understandable. I don't think there's any assholes here. I think everything sucks. Everyone is fine.
Yeah, I think what they should do, what they apparently were considering doing, who knows if they did it or not, what they should do is pull Maisie out of the trip, do something, her parents, do something with her that's nice, that doesn't, trigger her separation anxiety or whatever.
Yeah.
My school was a special needs school, and their motto, their mission statement was, we strive to give every child what they need, even if what they need is not the same for everyone. And I feel like that really applies here.
I agree.
Yeah, I would say so to some extent.
Yeah, I think you can't have everything, but if you're smart about it, you can make compromises and solutions so that everyone is not as sad as they could be.
Yeah, this is just a really bad situation for everybody involved, and it's just everybody needs to figure out how to best deal with things so that each kid is happiest.
Yeah, you're not insensitive for wanting a break or wanting her to have that break, because as much as people with special needs are human and they deserve that care and attention, the people that give them that care and attention also are human, and they need to have their space from that.
Yeah. So,
yeah, no assholes here. Really running the gamut today.
We really are. Yeah, it's usually a bunch of not the assholes or a bunch of you're the assholes, and then there was, and again, that one episode where every asshole was just consistently one-upping each other. Was
that last time or the time before that?
That was 3 episodes ago.
Oh yeah, it was just a constant string of the worst assholes in a row.
You think that's bad?
Yeah, after every one. Oh boy.
Check this shit out.
Am I the asshole?
Hold my beer. I can be a bigger asshole. Let's go.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. All right. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter 23F that she's a bad person over pizza? Hopefully not because of the pizza, just during pizza time, as it were.
Hopefully your daughter wasn't actually over the pizza either.
Yeah, physically that would be messy.
Because then I'm gonna start calling the FBI.
Yeah. Anyway, my family consists of me, my husband, my daughter, 22F. You just said your daughter was 23F in the title. What's going on here, OP? Which is it? And my son, 17M. One of these things is a typo. I don't think there's not that much difference between a 22-year-old and a 23-year-old. It shouldn't affect the judgment too much. My daughter, she has a son, 17M. My daughter moved back home during lockdown 2020 as she was finishing her master's degree. She took a year out to work and is now doing a secondary degree. I told her if she stayed home and didn't take out any loans, we would help her through the degree. We aren't paying for it though. Food, petrol, etc. On Thursday night, petrol. I just noticed they called it petrol. Where do you live?
They're not. They live in England, probably.
Yeah, a lot of British people in Ita. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I've noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. On Thursday night, we threw a pizza party for myself, my husband, our children, and their partners. It went great and everyone got on well. Friday night, my family, me, my husband, my daughter, and my son visited the grandparents for a family dinner. On Saturday, my husband and I returned from a shopping trip around lunchtime and told daughter that she needs to get ready for pizza night. She said she didn't know we were having pizza night on Saturday. I had invited over a group of old family friends and that she had planned her weekend so she could do all her work on Saturday, go visit her boyfriend for Sunday and Monday as it is Valentine's Day. I told her that she could at the very least stay for the meal, but she said no. It always ends up becoming a long meal and she'd have to wash her hair and do her makeup, which she was planning to do Sunday, so she'd have clean hair and not need to wash it at her boyfriend's. I told her if she was going to act like that, I would cancel the whole thing. She said, "That's silly. She just doesn't want to participate as she had work to do." It blew up between us as she said this was her time to do as she pleased and I just had a week off of holiday. I complained about trying to do my best to please everyone and she said that's nothing to do with her. She didn't ask or know about my dinner plans. It escalated a bit when her father, my husband, walked in and said our daughter was refusing to participate because she didn't want pizza again. She said she doesn't want pizza so soon after Thursday as well. My daughter said it's not because she's making pizza, it's because I'm busy and I don't want pizza either. I exclaimed, "She? I am not she," and my daughter repeated what she said but called me he instead. I told her she's a bad oh my god, they got into a pronoun argument.
Oh no.
The objectively worst kind. I told her she's a bad person. She did not join in pizza night. She was annoyed the guest stayed until 1 a.m. as she wasn't able to prepare her own dinner. We haven't talked since. Am I the asshole for calling her a bad person? I think she is ungrateful and she should have just joined in, but she doesn't like people seeing her as a, quote, mess and blew up the situation. All she had to do was join in dinner. Yeah, okay. So Reddit thinks they're the asshole. Top comment, "You're the asshole. If you wanted her at dinner because you were having people over, you could have just asked what time or date worked better for her beforehand so you can she could make time for it. The fact you are supporting her does not mean you own her time. She deserves her commitments to be respected as well."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I agree. People can get possessive when they think somebody owes them something.
Yeah.
And, oh man, did I experience a lot of that recently.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
We got rid of slavery a long time ago. So just because you do something nice doesn't oblige them to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think OP was just being very presumptuous and being like, well, you have to come because this, like, they are under no obligation to come to the party. They are under no obligation to do what you want, and they already had plans for the next day, and they wanted a break. That's their prerogative, not yours.
Yeah.
Like, OP is the asshole here.
Yeah, I sent you one.
He is the asshole.
Alright. Am I the asshole? Hold up. Okay. Am I the asshole for being upset with my 27 Wait, hold on. Oh, my 27 male girlfriend, 26 female, for having a whole go plan in place? Okay, so it starts with an edit. Edit.
Don't read the edit first.
Yeah,
that's gonna spoil things.
Yeah, so I'm gonna scroll up later and read the edit.
You idiot! That's not how IDAs work. You put the edit at the end so you don't spoil your post, idiot.
To clarify, nothing illegal, no mobs, no Born, Salt, Red Sparrow, Gone Girl type stuff.
God damn it! I was looking forward to some Gone Girl Born type shit.
Just someone who wants to be prepared. She also said she was going to adjust how much cash she was carrying. The car is always packed in a garage, but still, it's a lot of money. Oh wait, no, that's part of the edit. Sorry.
Oh, God damn it.
My
Where
gr-
does the edit end and the post begin?
Okay, my girlfriend and I have been dating for 1.5 to 2 years. There we go. Things have been pretty stable throughout the entire relationship, and most conflicts are resolved quickly. We are in the process of moving in together at the moment, and she told me she would need to clear out her car at some point, so the next time we were together, I got up early and cleaned out her car, thinking it would be a nice thing. Since her car isn't messy, she just carries a bunch of crap with her to catch stays if they are injured. Strays, okay. To catch strays if they are injured with bulls and water to feed them. She previously worked in vet medicine. I digress. I was clearing everything out, and I go around to the trunk, and I notice a fairly large duffel bag with her car gear, like a fire extinguisher, first aid, and whatnot. I open it out of curiosity, thinking it must be gym stuff. Okay, that was not something you should have done. First off.
Yeah.
And I noticed it. Yeah. And it was clothes, copies of important documents, about $5,000 cash, and hair dye. The fuck?
What?
I kind of look around because obviously she's punking me or watching Gone Girl one too many times. I finish clearing everything out and go back inside. She's up now cooking breakfast, and I jokingly ask if she's planning on running away anytime soon. She kind of smiles and says, "Oh yeah, totally," and just brushed it off.
Oh my god.
I press her a bit more, asking why she has that and why she even thinks that it's needed. She said that she's always prepared for anything and she would just rather not talk about it. I ask her if she doesn't trust me, and she says of course she does, but there were things that happened previously that she just is always prepared to be gone and disappear if needed. I admittedly freak out a bit and ask... Okay, at least you're honest. I admittedly freak out a bit and ask her what else she is hiding and what happened in the past that she feels that's needed. We ended up having a blow-up argument with her packing everything back up in the car and going back to her apartment. She said she needed time to think. Am I the asshole for pressing this? You're the asshole for looking through her shit.
No. You had a legitimate reason to wonder why suspicious gear was... I mean, you shouldn't have opened the bag because that's not your... And it,
Yeah.
You should always allow your significant others to have their privacy with their private stuff. Like, I'm not going to go search through my girlfriend's panty drawer just because I'm curious as to what kind of kink she's into. That's not okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about girls, right?
Yeah.
Nah.
Bruh.
They took that episode off Paramount Plus.
No, but you shouldn't have opened the bag. But that being said, you were legitimately in a situation, and there was nothing wrong with asking her about the situation,
Yeah.
and being concerned over the whole situation.
Kevin,
and,
why don't you look at the first few comments there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my...
So, top comment says, no assholes here. No assholes here. I think your girlfriend is a foreign spy.
Most likely situation, yes.
Seriously though, she probably suffered some previous trauma and having this bag makes her feel more secure. It probably has nothing to do with you, but when you backed her into a corner regarding it, she came out swinging and you triggered her fight or flight reflex. Second comment, came here to say this. This is often what is advised to victims of domestic violence. I'd tread lightly here and give her some time. And OP said... Fuck, that makes sense. Now I feel awful. She never told me anything, but that explains why she immediately got defensive. And OP made the edit at top. Edit.
Yeah.
She came over and we talked. She explained about why she keeps the bag, and I totally understand now. She had some deep trauma concerning a step-parent, but I won't get into it much. It was bad. I apologized for reacting the way that I did and offered to help her get anything she wanted for the kid. She also offered to make me one. Aww.
The couple that's ready to flee each other
Yeah.
at a moment's notice is the
Bonnie and
couple that
Clyde
stays
now?
together.
You
Thank
guys
you.
are Bonnie and Clyde now? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your input so far. This asshole has learned a lot. Honestly, I'm gonna say no assholes here at this point because it just seems...
Well, you had a legitimate concern, and she was clearly hiding stuff from her. Just because she has trauma does not make you a dick.
Yeah.
No, it's
No.
There's many worse reasons she could have had something like that. Like, maybe she was planning on leaving and cheating on you. Maybe she was planning on robbing you. Maybe she
True.
was...
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of legitimate reasons to be concerned.
Maybe she is a Russian spy.
Right, exactly. Maybe she was running from the government, and you were being roped into lifetime in jail for aiding and abetting her.
Yeah.
So her trauma and her failure to tell you about that trauma is not on you. However, I am glad that this situation worked itself out, and that she was forthcoming with the information. Because, I mean, yeah. Just sad that it had to come about in this way.
I honestly think it's adorable that she also made a getaway bag for him too. That's great.
That's adorable in the creepiest way possible.
Yeah.
Like that's like saying you know when you find like the duct tape, the bleach, the rope, and the fucking gag in the ball gag in a car, and you're like, I'll make you a kit too, honey, and you're like, no, I'm good, thank you though. I'm good. FBI.
Thank you though.
Like,
it was an interesting one.
yeah, that's an interesting one. I do not think the OP is an asshole, and I don't think there's any assholes there. It was just a sticky situation.
Yeah.
I agree. And honestly, I feel bad for his girlfriend. Really, she's been through some shit.
All right, I think it's time for the lightning round.
Woohoo!
This is the part of the show where we go through our unpopular opinion, look at the unpopular opinions. Are these opinions unpopular, or are they not unpopular? Do we agree or disagree? Let's find out.
I have nothing but unpopular opinions, so this will be interesting.
Unpopular opinion. If you hate cyclists with a passion, chances are you are a bad driver.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Agreed. You don't even drive a car, Kevin. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, idiot.
Look, I know enough about road safety to know that yes.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No, my opinion. My second opinion is if you hate buses, you're a good driver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Everyone
they're
hates
never
buses.
good drivers.
Nope.
Go ahead.
Unpopular opinion. People use culture to justify way too many shitty practices and traditions.
1,000,000% yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just because something is normal does not make it good. It used to be normal to imprison black people. Just because culture has traditions does not make what you're saying good. Like,
Yeah. What's that fucking what I think some culture still regularly practices female circumcision, which
They
is
do.
like pouring concrete in there or something.
yes. I mean, for God's sakes, a lot of Middle Eastern countries still practice and support honor killings, and I don't want
Yeah.
because that's sticky stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, tradition is not a good metric for good
Yeah.
in people.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, rap artists should not be allowed in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I mean, it is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I'll agree there, but there should be some kind of Hall of Fame for those
Yeah.
people as well.
Oh
Yeah, I think that's pretty much. I think they're just saying we shouldn't cross the streams.
Yeah, I agree.
Unpopular opinion, Adam Sandler is a mediocre comedian and has a lot of awful movies. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion.
That's an unpopular opinion. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion at all, actually.
Yeah. I mean, like, he can be really funny, and he has some really good movies, but, like...
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but he also has... He also, like, his whole fucking Happy Madison company exists so that he can go on vacation and shoot a shitty movie and write it off, so, you know...
Or yeah.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, anymore, yes. So, honestly, I think he's actually a much better actor than he is a comedian.
Yeah.
If you actually look at some of the more serious roles he's taken, like Uncut Gems, about him losing his family in 9/11 and friending the guy who plays War Machine.
Yeah.
But who I can't for the life of me think
Don
of.
Cheadle.
He's actually Don Cheadle. He's actually a fantastic dramatic actor and a fantastic actor in general, but he sells himself short with his very polarizing brand of comedy
Yeah.
a lot.
Unpopular opinion, hard shell tacos should not exist.
Kill yourself.
Well, now I don't want to weigh in on this.
I honestly I eat soft tacos more often than I eat hard shell tacos, but that's just a matter.
It's the greatest gift to American culture that has ever been devised, and I will not hear anything against it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, smoke breaks are unnecessary and stupid.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Coming from a person who smokes.
Yeah, if the smoker is saying that they agree, you're pretty much on the money.
Well, and I'll get a little personal here. When I worked at McDonald's, I worked at 4 of those were as a department head. My rule was if I gave you a chance to go outside to smoke, you were doing work while you did it. So I would give you a broom and a dustpan. I said, go sweep the lot while you smoke. And if it's not swept by the time you come back in, I'm going to put you on break and dock you the pay, because it's not fair that you have to go out for your addiction. But, you know, the 16-year-old who's working his ass off and doesn't smoke isn't allowed to do the same.
Yeah,
that's basically what they write here. People don't actually need to smoke another cigarette. They clearly just want to get out of work for an extra 5-10 minutes. It annoys me that this has been normalized, like, hey, you're allowed to go outside and get away from work and also ruin your fucking lungs. I just never understood this shitty thing.
Yeah,
I understand every couple hours, but people just take advantage of the situation and go out to smoke constantly.
If your business has a policy, of letting you have 5-minute breaks occasionally, which a lot of factory jobs do, then that's fine, because those are open to everyone. But if you're going to give special treatment to smokers, I'm going to protest.
Yeah.
So it's not my fault you made shitty decisions with your life, and the rest of the workers shouldn't have to pick up your slack while you go get high. So
yes. Unpopular opinion, it should be a crime that half of a chicken wing, flat or drum, is counted as one chicken wing.
Yes.
The level of autism in that post.
Yes, very autistic, but you know, like,
cares?
I don't know. I feel like the semantics guy in me is agreeing.
Well, I mean, semantic wise, yes, but a crime? Seriously? The chicken and me.
Yeah. True. I don't know if anyone needs prison time for that.
Like, fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Unpopular just because of the extreme measures here.
Yeah.
People who eat tacos the wrong way should be executed. Like, bro, calm down.
Unpopular opinion, it's annoying when we hear rich kids say, I'm not rich, my dad/family is rich.
Incredibly so. Because you have access to that money just like anybody else does.
Yep.
Even if you don't have access to the money, you have access to a lot of things that people don't.
You have access to their privileges as well.
Yeah,
You live in the same house, you ride in the same cars, you have access to the same transportation and health benefits. You're probably on their cell phone plan. Like, you have all of those benefits. So you are living a rich kid's life, even if you yourself are not the one that has access to the money. So I have a very rich friend, and he is incredibly situation most of the time because he realizes he doesn't want to look like an asshole, and he understands that people don't have it as good.
Yeah, he's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, Josh is awesome. Anyway, go ahead.
Unpopular opinion, oatmeal raisin cookies are superior to chocolate chip in every way.
Agreed.
I like them both, but here's the thing. When I want one and not the other, it sucks when one's there. You know what I mean?
Well, and I'll also say there are really shitty versions of both. Like, there are oatmeal raisin cookies that just have so much sugar in them because they're trying to make them chocolate chip cookies that they're just disgusting. But a properly made oatmeal cookie has so much more depth of flavor than any amount of chocolate can ever give you.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
Yeah, I just think a lot of the hate for oatmeal raisin comes because people want a chocolate chip and there's an oatmeal raisin there. If they wanted oatmeal raisin and it was there, then they'd appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah.
But I think also a lot of people recognize chocolate chip and just grew up with them because because of Chips Ahoy and stuff like that. And
it's kind of the default cookie, so it's what you come to expect.
And a lot of people don't like to branch out, and so they're like, ew, oatmeal raisin. I'm like, a lot of those people have never tried an oatmeal cookie because it's not made with chip and it's not with...
Unpopular opinion, if a product is labeled sugar-free or no sugar added, that should also apply to fake sugar.
A lot of fake sugars are calorieless, and that's what people care about. Is they care about things like aspartame and artificial sweeteners are not good for you either. But the big point is that a lot of those sweeteners have no calories in them.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people care about. So you're technically not lying, so I don't see an issue with it.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, John Cena is a better actor than The Rock.
I haven't seen enough of his content to know that for certain.
But the only acting job I've seen John Cena in was he was Fred's dad in the Fred movies.
He was
forgot about that. What?
Yep.
He was also in Bumblebee.
I don't remember that.
He's also been in a Fast and Furious movie. He was also
I know he's like the peacekeeper now. That's like the big thing everyone's talking about.
Yeah, he was in an episode of Psych.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
so
no.
I can't really weigh in on this.
I've only ever seen him playing, the archetype John Cena.
Yeah, the problem here is that I've only really seen The Rock and John Cena in like when The Rock does a movie, The Rock plays The Rock, and when John Cena does a movie, John Cena plays John Cena.
I don't think The Rock wasn't playing The Rock in Moana though, and he was good in Moana.
Okay, he was really good in Moana. I will admit that.
Yeah.
He was very charming in that movie, but the problem is I could also say the same thing about John Cena in some of the other movies I've seen him in. Like, believe it or not, despite the fact that he is like one of the main antagonistic forces in Bumblebee, he actually had a lot of really funny lines in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, he had some of the best like moments in that movie, which I believe a lot of those were ad-libbed, but
yeah. My unpopular opinion is that I think the Fred movies are actually really funny. In kind of like a pathetic way, you know? Like, they're fun to laugh at and with, you know?
It's an ironic enjoyment thing.
Like, I think in terms of ironic enjoyment, the Fred trilogy is actually really entertaining.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, it's got kind of the same... It's got kind of the same comedy feeling as like Masters of Disguise or Son of the Mask.
Yeah. Oh, I actually really like Son of the Mask.
I think that movie is goddamn terrible, but I can't deny I watched it every single time it came on Cartoon Network.
I did as well. I have a weird fondness for Son of the Mask.
Me too.
That
is the movie I know Alan coming from.
Unpopular opinion, Kanye West is a fucking asshole, but he's a genius when it comes to marketing. We will see how well his $200 speaker does. We'll see.
Gonna have to... probably gonna say no there, but we'll see.
I don't know how successful he actually is at his stunts, though. You know, or does he just have so much money he can coast through his failures? I don't actually know for sure.
Didn't Kanye try to sell, like, bootlegged Nintendo games?
No, Soulja Boy.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm getting my stupid, like, rapper dumb shit mixed up. My bad.
Wow, harsh. Jesus.
Damn.
Someone actually like rap.
Kevin is kind of racist.
I
right
like
now.
rap.
No. He didn't say anything about the color of their skin. He just completely defined their entire demographic as stupid.
I said the stupid things that rappers do.
Oh, like what? Rap?
No, like the Soulja game.
I'm not judging you right now. There's been like a couple of insane rappers.
Yeah.
I'm actually subscribed to one on YouTube. Anyway.
Unpopular opinion, Takis are garbage.
Yes.
I don't
eat. They're mediocre.
I don't eat Takis.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion, avocados are so gross.
Yes.
Yeah.
Avocados are baby shit in a fruit form. And that's why hipsters love them, because hipsters don't breed. Thank God.
That said, I've had some pretty good guacamole before. So
they've never seen baby shit, so they don't think it's repulsive when they look at it. They're like,
nasty,
fuzzy green shit. Yeah, it looks delicious. And then, like,
see, the real OG hipsters, they do breed, but only in hot tubs.
Oh my God. I'm gonna vomit. I'm gonna fucking vomit.
Wait, you've never seen a hot tub birth?
Yes, I've seen a hot tub birth. Went to health class too. Thank you.
That's how Mandark in Dexter's Lab was born.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, canonically.
Yeah, he was born in a hot tub. Also, his parents wanted him to be a girl. I guess it was a whole thing. Susan.
Mandark.
I down my new name, Mandark. Ha 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 ha.
That was like the best thing that the post Gendy Tartakovsky seasons did.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, McDonald's coffee is better than Starbucks coffee.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Now, is it better, or is it just a better price to product ratio?
I don't understand the difference in the question.
Fair enough.
You're getting barely better quality out of Starbucks, but you're fucking paying 3 times as much. As much as I don't like coffee, I actually am kind of a coffee snob. We have a really good local chain of coffee in Dayton called Boston Stoker. And the one thing you'll always get from Boston Stoker is when you go in and ask, what kind of coffees do you have and what do you think I would enjoy? They will ask you a slew of like 5 or 6 questions. They know their coffee, they know their blends, and they know where they're. from. You go into a fucking Starbucks or a McDonald's, they don't know where the fuck their coffee comes from because they're part of the big businesses that basically exploit Colombian farmers.
Yeah.
So really, their quality is roughly the same. Starbucks being a little better, but you're paying 3 times the fucking cost.
Yeah.
I actually pay for much better coffee, much higher quality coffee at Boston Stoker, and it costs a little bit less than Starbucks, but that quality is way above what Starbucks is. So if I have to buy shitty coffee like what I can get at Starbucks, I'd rather go to McDonald's because I feel less bad about it afterward.
Yeah, like we went to Boston Stoker that one time before I had to leave, and they did ask me like,
College ones.
yeah, they asked me the list of questions, and they gave me a cup of coffee that was basically like my ideal morning blend. So yeah, can confirm there.
Unpopular opinion, it doesn't matter if your clothes are wrinkled or not. It's a social construct that lets people judge you. Construct, sorry.
I don't think there's anything problematic with judging someone because they look unkempt and like they don't care about their appearance.
Mm.
I know that's an unpopular opinion, but if you're not taking care of yourself, it's a real turnoff for a lot of people. What else are you taking care of, you know?
I think it just depends on the social setting, really. Where are you?
I mean, well, sure. I mean, if you're waking up in the first thing in the morning, but if you're out at a social event and you didn't bother to worry about what you wore,
Yeah.
I would wonder what other things you don't seem to give a shit about.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion. Sorry. Unpopular opinion: eating several bite-sized Snickers is superior to eating one regular Snickers bar.
Absolutely false.
Yeah. Also, that's just a waste of plastic. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
agree. That's the other big thing. I hate bite-sized sandwich. I hate bite-sized anything because it's just a waste of fucking wrappers.
yeah.
Yep.
Not good. Not good. If it was up to me, you'd buy Snickers in big boxes that just came in one bag.
See, this guy's got the best ideas.
Yeah, because I bought that case of the Reese's Outrageous because I couldn't fucking find it anywhere, so I bought it off Amazon, and they all come individually wrapped. I'm like, this is just such a fucking waste. Just put them in a box with a sealed bag, like crackers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not gonna shove them in my mouth like they're crackers, but like they should be packaged similarly. Unpopular opinion: there is nothing wrong with drinking alone. OP, are you okay?
I don't think OP is okay.
I'm not gonna give a judgment on this. I just want to know if they're okay. Is something wrong?
You can talk to us
Good,
about
bro?
it, OP.
You good, bro? You good?
Yeah. You can email us at bakagaijinshow@gmail.com. We'll get back to you. Unpopular opinion: desserts with nuts in them automatically make them worse. Depends on the dessert. Depends on the nut.
It really does, because
I mean, it depends on if you're allergic to nuts, because I'm pretty
That's,
sure
that's also true.
true.
would be infinitely worse than a dessert without nuts if you're allergic.
Yeah,
to
it
nuts.
would automatically be worse, and that you'll be dead. So
I mean,
that's true.
I think that adding crunch to anything that's usually very smooth in texture is not a problem. So it adds.
I have a problem where I don't like. This is my unpopular opinion. I don't like when like breads have things in them.
Yeah,
Like
me too.
when muffins have nuts, or like when cakes have like fruit and stuff. I'm not really a big fan of stuff in my bread-like substances.
Remind me never to bake for you then. I won't produce crap out of my kitchen. But
Yeah. All right.
but no, I mean that's. I think it makes them better.
Yeah.
In general.
I don't know what it is. I think normally I appreciate heterogeneity in my food texture, but for something about breads and cakes, I just kind of want a homogeneous thing,
Right.
or at least something similar. Like a frosting is also soft, so like that doesn't bother me.
Oh, sure. But what about like ice cream? Do you like nuts on do you like nuts on top of your
I haven't had it in a long time. I really couldn't tell you. I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that would be as big a deal with ice cream for some reason. I think it's because ice cream has a liquidity to it, whereas a bread is like a spongy material.
Well, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about banana bread. I'm thinking about like ice cream with nuts on it. And I'm like, that sounds similar.
Yeah. I think that's fine.
So
I think it's just breads because it's like a complete solidified, like spongy experience, and then you're just fucking it up with nuts. You know?
Oh, I agree. Like cracked wheat is like my least favorite type of. Excuse me. Cracked wheat is like my least favorite type of bread because you're enjoying this soft, scrumptious, darkened flavored bread, and then all of a sudden you break your teeth on wheat nut that they just left in the fucking.
Yeah, and what's with the breads with the seeds in them? I don't get it.
It's supposed to be healthier because it's not processed and bleached grains, but it's also just annoying to eat. Like,
Yeah,
I've had like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on cracked wheat, and it's just the worst experience.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Oh god, I've done that before and I hate it.
Yeah. I think that's a good note to end off on.
I think so.
Yep. So we want to thank Serodin for being here.
Somehow you're thanking me. I'm not really sure what I did, but
we really enjoy having another person. I especially enjoy it because it means I get to do shit in the background while no one's paying attention to me.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just put. Yep.
I'll prop you up anytime, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So thanks for being here and talking about the con experiences.
No
Yep. You can. You want to shout out your handles or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
On like
You want to shout out your
media?
your socials.
Oh yeah,
or
it's
whatever.
my social media. If you do at Serodin Sedgwick, or if you do at Serodin, you'll find me. It's Serodin Sedgwick on Twitter. My actual username is JRR. There's a long story behind that one that I won't get into. But I can't change it. It's in the contract. I can't change it.
Yeah.
But it's JRR, and then on it, JEROWARW. So RAR. On YouTube, and if you like cooking content, there's more coming next month. And me and QB the Third, and actually Kevin here, are third video, or the second video in the series. So but that's it.
Follow the ongoing sandwich saga.
And Jesus Christ, the ongoing lettuce arc.
The lettuce arc.
Ongoing lettuce arc.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. You can follow us at ZekeFreak and at CCharmanderK. You can write us in at bakagaijinshow@gmail.com. If you want us to read things on air, you can join our official Baka Gaijin Discord server with the link provided in the description below. You can like and comment on this video if you feel so inclined. You can subscribe
Smash
for
that
future.
like button.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Let's
fucking
subscribe.
yeah, fucking rape
Make
that
sure to
button.
down-
Just fucking
And make
do
sure
it.
to download Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah. You can subscribe if you want to see future episodes of the Baka Gaijin Show. We do this most weeks, and we have a good time. And we hope you have a good time listening to the Baka Gaijin Show. Zeke Freak out. Ciao, ciao for now.